at one time. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping. Ike outbound, accident, 3 left lanes blocked between Laramie and Central. Tri-State, accident, 2 left lanes blocked. This is on the northbound side of 294 between Dempster and Gulf. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with AccuWeather's Andy Robb.
Windy for today with snow at times. 1 to 2 inches accumulating. The high 29 for tonight. Mainly clear and cold. Low 15. Breezy and chilly with partial sun tomorrow. High 26. I'm Andy Robb on AM 560, The Answer.
Waukegan light snow. DuPage Airport light snow. Morris light snow. Romeoville light snow. On and off freezing drizzle as you get a little closer to downtown Chicago. Drive with a little care. 22 at O'Hare, 29 Midway, 21 Aurora, 25 in Joliet, 28 Lakefront. Your next news update, 5:30. Chicago's Morning Answer starts next on AM 560, The Answer.
After 30 years of doing knee and hip replacements, Dr. Mitchell Shinecup thought there had to be a better way, and that led him to regenerative medicine.
I was one of the first orthopedic surgeons to do it.
Now, after 20 years of successful orthobiologic treatments, lots of clinical data, research, and teaching, Dr. Shinecup is National Medical Director at QC Kinetics.
They've done an amazing job of becoming the most significant orthobiologic and regenerative medicine practice in the United States. QC is so far ahead of the game in its science, its protocols, its people, its facilities.
So if you have chronic pain from arthritis and you want to avoid drugs and surgery, call the experts in this revolutionary field, QC Kinetics.
To give patients real lasting relief from pain, that's what I live for. That's my mission.
Get your free consultation now. Call QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. 312-809-5955.
If you own or run a business and you listen to AM 560, you might not realize that the conservative programming that you enjoy is supported by advertisers. Our loyal listeners love to do business with the advertisers they hear every day on AM 560. Now, it probably won't surprise you that there are some businesses who avoid advertising with us because they don't like what we do here. And that's okay, because our audience wants to support businesses that support what we do and think like we think. We would love to have you join the list of successful companies who are already reaching new, like-minded customers. Most AM 560 advertisers have been here for years for one simple reason: they get results. Join our efforts to make a difference in the lives of our listeners who are passionate about supporting our great family of AM 560 advertisers. To learn more, just visit 560theanswer.com/advertise. That's 560theanswer.com/advertise.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. They're limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, Doctors Economos, Gave Alice, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidiscipline practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
This is Ed Morrissey of HotAir.com for Town Hall. A terror attack on Bourbon Street on New Year's Eve leaves at least 15 dead. Senator John Kennedy has angrily promised his constituents in Louisiana answers. The rest of the country deserves answers as well for the incompetence of the FBI in the first 24 hours after an ISIS acolyte drove a rented truck into a crowd of revelers in New Orleans. First, the FBI declared that it wasn't a terror attack, despite the ISIS flag on the bumper of the truck and declarations on the perpetrator's Facebook page making his motive clear. A few hours later, the Bureau not only changed its position, but then declared that the terrorist hadn't acted alone. By the next day, however, the FBI reversed itself again and declared that the terrorist had acted alone. How can Americans have confidence in any information coming from the FBI after that head-spinning 24 hours? The rush to dismiss the terrorism suggests that the Bureau is much more interested in self-serving spin than investigation and transparency. I'm Ed Morrissey.
Hi, this is Carl Amari.
I'm Lisa Wolf. Join us every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. for all things entertainment on Hollywood 360.
If you love classic radio shows, The Shadow, Jack Benny, The Lone Ranger, Dragnet, Gunsmoke, and many more, we have them for you on Hollywood 360.
We'll also present trivia contests with prizes, showbiz news, celebrity interviews, games, and movie reviews.
So don't miss Hollywood 360 every Saturday night beginning at 8 p.m. on AM 560, The Answer.
Portions of the following show may be pre-recorded.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Good Monday morning. Happy New Year. Happy 2025. Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony in for Dan Proft.
Hey.
And why are you wearing shades? I can't see your eyes.
It's too bright in here.
I can make that. I could change that.
Well, I mean.
I can make that work for my friend.
Well, it's too bright, and I wear my sunglasses at night because I can.
Okay.
It's still dark.
I was worried about you getting to work today.
Oh, it was
That's
bad.
what I'm a professional worrier.
Yeah.
I was actually going to call you last night to tell you that you should stay at the Sheridan next door, but
it was bad.
Well, how bad is bad? What
really bad.
Describe bad.
Sliding and saw a couple of people run off into the ditch.
Yeah. Well, do you guys have snow down there? Because we don't.
Yeah, we got snow down where I was.
My sister lives in St. Louis, and school canceled.
Oh.
Because they got hit pretty hard. Well, yeah, and they're ice first, and then snow, and then more ice.
Yeah.
But with 2025 comes some New Year's resolutions.
Uh-oh.
And some changes here. We're expanding the family here at AM 560. I'm pregnant with triplets. Just kidding. Because you have twins.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't know how you do that one.
I don't either.
But Justin Kosick and Bethany are having their baby. And I don't know, but I don't know if you know this, he got a kitten tossed upon him.
Did you give it to him?
I swear to God, I had nothing to do with it. But Justin, do you still have that kitten?
Yes, we do.
Oh, yeah, because there was talk of getting rid of the kitten.
I love cats, but I was adamant that we got rid of that cat, and she said no. So
she being Bethany.
Bethany said
all right,
no.
well, why didn't you like the cat?
The kitten stage is very hard, especially when you live in a very, very small space.
Mm-hmm.
Cats jumping on your ankles. The mornings are super difficult. So a little bit better now.
Is Pebbles still crying, though? I mean, because their cat's name is Pebbles, John.
Yeah.
And so he came into work, and he just looked off. I was like, oh, this is great because this is getting you ready for parenthood and sleep deprivation.
Yeah, there it is right there. That's the key.
You can soothe the child. You can't soothe a kitten freaking out. But
I
it's
don't
much
know
better.
about that. That's why Quinn and I were laughing. Like, oh, really? You think it works that way? You're negotiating with a child?
Let's see if they keep that cat when that baby comes.
Yeah, I know. Do you think you'll keep the cat, though?
That's up to the woman. I don't make the decisions here.
Well, all right, but at least you can sleep through the night?
Oh, absolutely. Now it's so much better. You just got to get past those rough 3 days. What is it? The 3 day, 3 week, 3 month rule. 3 days to get adjusted, 3 weeks to get acclimated, and 3 months to feel like you're a part of the family now.
What about somersault or backbend there? Does your dog get along with your cat?
They get along. I don't know if she's too happy about the cat, though.
Oh, no, she's never going to be happy.
No, she's not.
That's not going to happen.
Hey, Amy.
Yeah.
I want to see if that threes applies when you have that child.
When you have children. I just pray that you don't have a colicky child so that you don't have to drive the. I know people who drove their kids around in their vehicle. You did that?
My oldest daughter, Jada, we'd have to do that. We'd have to run water in the bathroom. We would have to turn on the dryer. Those things soothe
that's right, because you can put the car seat on top of the dryer, but be near the dryer.
Yeah, of course.
But that soothing motion helps with if they're a colicky child. But now, they have advanced medicine to help, right, with
the drops.
Colicky children.
Yeah.
Mike Scott, were any of your kids colicky? Or Mike's probably, I don't know if he's listening right now.
I think he is.
Yeah, I think he's.
No, I don't think he's
No,
busy.
let's see. Oh, wait. He's grabbing the headsets.
I'm a little busy over here.
We have
the
contact.
world is happening.
Well, I know, but were any of your 4 children colicky?
Oh, I'm sure. I have no recollection of that. My oldest is almost 30. So,
oh, my gosh.
So I don't really have any recollection of that. It's all a blur.
Yeah.
Ian was particularly troublesome as a child, but as a very young child.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really don't remember a whole lot. We were just blessed to have them at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My oldest was one of the twins. I don't remember which twin, but one of the twins was colicky, but the other one wasn't. The other one slept, and my son, we had no problem. Oh,
the second child.
He slept.
The second child's always the best because then you're more relaxed.
Yeah.
Because with the first one, you really don't know what you're doing.
I had no idea.
I took home ec. I took industrial arts or river trails. They don't teach you how to be a mom.
No. Or
you
dad.
Just have to, or dad. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to exclude you people because you do have a part in the system. But they don't teach you, what to do when your child has a hissy fit or a temper tantrum in front of people. I'll never forget, my oldest, Peyton, he had an absolute meltdown at East Bank Club. Right in front of Barack Obama, and Allison Payne was there, and I was like, okay, I'm open to suggestions. And Allison said, I don't have any of those.
Yeah, none of my kids did that to me.
But Barack helped. I mean, he came over and helped. They were 2 and 1.
Oh, step over him.
And then he...
No, I'm serious. Let them have their hissy fit. Yeah. Once they realize no one's paying, especially at 2 and up, if no one's paying attention to them, they stop.
Yeah.
Just the future president of the United States.
Yeah, they stop.
But he was very helpful.
Eventually they do. They're like, wait a minute, nobody's paying attention to me? They stop.
Yeah. So, Justin, are you taking any parenting classes or just Lamaze classes, right? Was that what that's called? When you
Never took those.
I never took those either. But are you taking those, Justin?
She brought them up, so we'll see what she wants to do. I figure YouTube's a good resource.
Yeah, I would agree.
I don't know if I want to go to classes.
Oh, but it's bonding, and you sit with her between your legs, and she lays down, and you breathe together. Because you're becoming parents together.
Did none of that.
But it will be the best day of your life.
It will. Yeah. Get it on video too. It's amazing.
I was one of the last that because I had a C-section.
Yeah.
Kid was taken out of the sunroof, as John Howell used to say. Before medical malpractice insurance adjusters came in and said, no, you cannot allow anybody to videotape. So you can see mine looks like a horror film. They take out your organs and they place them on. No, listen. They place them on top of you, and then they take out the uterus, cut the baby out, then sew it back up, put it back in, then put all the other stuff. It's like pieces of a puzzle.
Well,
and I was in so much pain. I actually asked my gyno, did you leave a wrench in there by any chance, or a screwdriver or something?
Yeah. Well, I couldn't see the actual.
Because you're on the other side of the screen.
Twins, no, it was. Yeah. Well, they had like this white curtain, and Deborah was on right here to my left, but I couldn't see the actual. C-section.
Well, because men collapse.
Yeah,
they faint. You all faint. You see a little bit of blood.
No, please.
No, they do though.
You know the thing that bothers me? Vomit. I can sit. Listen.
See, you and I are gonna get along great.
No, seriously. I've been to the morgue. I've seen people autopsies and things. None of that bothers me. Absolutely. As I told you before, I can go out and eat right afterwards with blood and guts getting.
Well, because you were a cop.
Yeah, I mean none of that. But vomit. Oh, something about it.
You can't handle
Can't
that.
take it.
All right. Well, Justin has this drop that he and Dan Proft play a lot.
Oh.
That drives me. Don't you dare.
Please do.
No, I'm not kidding. No, if you don't like, no.
That's okay. I'm talking about the actual when I'm there in the room seeing someone vomit.
Okay.
But hearing it doesn't bother me.
Oh, see?
Yeah, that doesn't bother me.
No,
that doesn't bother me.
honest to God, I honestly feel sick now.
Oh, God.
I can't. It's my least favorite bodily function, too. All right, well, I was going to ask you about your New Year's resolutions, 312-642-5600. Justin, do you have any?
Be a great father. That's my
Aw.
number one thing.
I
It's going
think-
to be a learning curve, but I'm hoping it's relatively easy.
Yeah, there's no textbook. There's no. I wish I could help you there, but just know that you're not alone. And that the days go by long,
Patience.
but the years go by fast.
Gotta have
Because I had to say goodbye to Peyton. He went back to Georgia Tech already.
Yeah, wow.
And it was so, I don't know. And then he's got a summer internship in Florida. So you're working with the Department of Defense. I can't say what he's going to do, but I'm very proud of him for getting this it's a very important role in the defense of our nation. So I'm proud for, what he's about to embark upon. But time with Mom, it's over.
Yeah.
Took his desk down to Georgia Tech. I
gone.
mean, all that's left is a bed. What did you just say?
He gone.
Oh, come on. Like, can you come in? And then if you're divorced, it's even worse because then you have to split the time with the other parent when they're here. So, that was.
But patience. I think babies test your patience more than anything. And I think that's what, if you don't have patience now, you will.
Just remember, if it gets bad, I'll never forget my gynecologist. So I keep talking about him. I love Dr. Kelsey. Okay. Well, the man who delivers your babies, you're always going to have a bond with, Yeah. And he's been my doctor since 1996. Yeah. But one time I called him and they keep crying because I had 2 back-to-back, Yeah. Back-to-back world champs. No, back-to-back babies. And he just said, Amy, grab a beer, go sit on your front porch. Don't turn off the monitors. Just let them cry it out. You need to take a break. Yeah. Because you need to. And whenever I see a newborn and a mom walking down the street, I'm like, oh, your baby's cute. But how are you doing? Yeah. I always ask the mom. And sometimes they're taken back. Wait, did you ask if I said, no, are you doing okay? Yeah. Are you getting the sleep you need? Are you getting the help you need? Right. Is your husband stepping up? Do you have family here to help? Because we have a lot of people that are from different countries that actually live on our street that, they don't have help from their family. Yeah. They have nothing. But Justin's got a great support system. I met them all and vetted them all to his wedding. Rushed them, so to speak. But no, you'll be great. And I think you're going to be a great dad because you're kind to animals. Yeah. And that's a start.
Well, I wouldn't know about a bond with a gynae, and I wouldn't know. Know.
Do you know who gave birth to?
Well, just
helped Deborah give birth.
Yeah,
to
I do.
Kids?
I know her.
Doctor.
Dr. West.
Okay.
She delivered 4 of my kids, and then 3 of my kids.
Okay.
3 of my kids, and I forget the lady in Joliet, but
I forget the lady. How do you think that lady in Joliet feels that you just said that?
Well, because she grabbed she grabbed me by my collar and told me don't get her pregnant again.
Oh, did she really?
Oh, yeah. But what I was going to say, I don't know anything about a gynae, just like I wouldn't know what it means for a man to get a pap smear now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw that law that just passed here.
What's the law?
That men can get pap smears and, the trans women can get pap smears and
if they have a
prostate
vagina.
exams. Well, that they changed the language. There's a big uproar on it right now. Darren Bailey's leading that charge, and Tom DeVore. Tony McComey voted for it, so it's this huge uproar.
She voted for it?
For the bill. Her and 2 other
to give men pap smears?
Yeah, her and 2 other Republicans, Keicher, and I couldn't see the other one.
We will never speak her name here again on the show now.
Well,
they
voted
that's
for
the
it.
problem with squishy Republicans. Yeah. They're going to start believing that men can actually give birth because that's what the Democrats do.
Yeah. Well, she responded saying that she doesn't heart stop. She doesn't believe men can have men can get pap smears or women can get prostate exams. But they've changed the gender-specific language in that bill. It's ridiculous, in my opinion.
We're going to have Darren Bailey or Tom DeVore on to discuss that later this week. Yeah. All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, how do you think President Biden feels that he's now the oldest living president? Ooh. You'll hear his response. But first, let's hop into that newsroom. A very busy day weather-wise and travel-wise, and back to school for a lot of CPS and suburban students. Here's Mike Scott.
5:32, Congress set to meet today. They're certifying results of the 2024 election. Members of the House and Senate will meet at 1 p.m. to count the electoral votes. Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota says the U.S. Capitol, she believes, will be secure.
We have, as you know, a new police chief, increased morale, many hundreds of more officers, and we have a plan and a strategy in place.
U.S. Capitol Police say heavy security is already there for counting and certifying the electoral vote. President Biden will be in New Orleans today, meeting with family members of the victims of the New Year's Bourbon Street attack. The attack saw an apparent ISIS sympathizer plow a pickup truck into crowds, killing 14 and injuring dozens. Also this morning, the FBI says the New Orleans truck attacker who killed 14 had previously scouted the French Quarter and recorded video with Meta smart glasses. A shooting attack on a bus carrying Israelis in the occupied West Bank has killed 3 this morning. Israel's rescue service said at least 7 others were severely wounded. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is urging allies to boost his country's air defenses at a meeting this week in Germany. Russia's defense ministry said Ukraine is pressing fresh, new, successful attacks in Russia's Kursk region. The 82nd Golden Globe Awards ceremony is in the books. Anna Sawai and her co-star Hiroyuki Sanada won Best Actress, and Actor for their roles in Shogun.
And thank you, FX, Disney, Hulu, and all the cast members and crew of Shogun for sharing this amazing journey.
The show won all 4 categories it was nominated for, including Best Drama, Best Supporting Actor. Meantime, there were several first-time award winners last night. Demi Moore, Sebastian Stan, and Adam Pearson. Bears snap a 10-game losing skid by beating the rival Packers 24-22 at Lambeau yesterday. Cairo Santos drilling a 51-yard field goal as time expires. The Bears end the season 5-12, but the big work begins today at Hallis Hall, the search for a new coach and perhaps a new general manager. Lake effect snow could cause issues in Lake County, Illinois. National Weather Service says 3 to 5 inches could fall as a lake effect ban hits the northern suburbs. There is a winter weather advisory in effect through 4 p.m. for Lake County. Massive 40-vehicle pileup on I-70 east of Effingham kept that major national highway closed for hours on Sunday.
If you can stay home, stay home. And anybody that's on the interstates, find a hotel and let them get the roads cleared.
Crash happened about 30 miles west of the Illinois-Indiana border. As of this morning, lanes have been reopened. There were injuries in that crash. The Bulls say they're retiring Derrick Rose's #1 jersey. The retirement ceremony will not be held until the next NBA season. No specific date, but Rose did meet with fans at the UC on Saturday.
Thank you, Chicago, for forcing me to be great, putting those expectations on me, not understanding that I was trying to be great the entire time, too. So thank you for everybody that watched me ever since I was in 6th grade.
3-time All-Star will be just the 5th Bulls player to receive the franchise honor. 2024 NFL season is in the books now. The day capped off by my Lions, clinching the NFC's top seed with a convincing 31-9 takedown of the Vikings. The Patriots have fired head coach Gerard Mayo. Number 20 Fighting Illini on a 4-game win streak following yesterday's 81-77 Big Ten win over Washington. Northwestern lost to number 22 Purdue at Mackey. North Central College football, champions of Division III, beating the Mount Union Purple Raiders last night at Stag Bowl 51. The news is a service of Valdecass Windows. for the discerning homeowner looking for high-quality and professional-level window replacement service. Contact Valdecast Windows, your award-winning Platinum Elite Pella-certified contractor, Valdecast.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees relief coming.
Everything that is good about our country, they despise. They are anti-God. They are anti-patriotism. They are anti-law and order. They're anti-family. And finally, we got some normalcy coming back to the country.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
Wealth Health Radio. The biggest fears that people have is, do I have enough money to retire?
Retirement doesn't have to be complicated.
Make sure that you're going through retirement with confidence.
Learn principles of income planning.
There's a lot of different facets that you need to take into consideration when you're retiring.
Tune into Wealth Health Radio with Joe Murphy, noon to 1 p.m. Sundays on AM 560. The Answer.
From breaking news and weather across the country to insight from the brightest minds in conservative opinion, it's Salem News Channel, home to the biggest shows on TV, like Hugh Hewitt weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, followed by Mike Gallagher at 9. Join SNC, where facts are sacred, critical thinking is celebrated, and the pursuit of truth is unwavering. Watch Salem News Channel free, now on Zumo Play. Learn more at snc.tv/Zumo.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I am a senior citizen, and actually I've seen the commercials, and I started taking it because I thought, well, that sounds like a really good idea.
Well, I saw it. We watch Fox News, and I saw it on there, so I thought to order them. And I'm telling you, it's terrific stuff.
It makes me feel good, so me and my wife both enjoy it, you know.
Because I can't do it without my Balance of Nature.
We've maintained it without taking a lot of food supplements we had been taking. We stopped and are just using Balance of Nature supplements.
Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal. Sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com and get this exclusive New Year's offer by using discount code Chicago.
If you have unfiled taxes or are in debt to the IRS, this is important news. Did you know the IRS has programs specifically designed to help people struggling with tax debt? Powerful tax assistance programs that can save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm, A-rated by the Better Business Bureau. Their award-winning team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. One call to Optima can start the process, helping to end your worries about wage garnishment, asset seizure, and other IRS actions. Make sure you're getting the best options to solve your tax problems. Call the experts at Optima today for a free confidential consultation.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
541. Let's get an update on the roads. Team Hochberg Traffic Center Time, a service of Fox Valley Coins, buying all gold and silver bars, coins, silver dollars, rare, date, proof, and mint sets. Visit foxvalleycoins.com. Kennedy outbound jammed up between the tri-state and Manheim. Ike outbound, earlier accident, a 7-vehicle variety causing delays. Laramie out to Oak Park Avenue, but it's being cleaned up as we speak. Dan Ryan express lanes already jammed up inbound between 33rd and the Stevenson. An accident on the tri-state northbound between Dempster and Gulf. 2 left lanes blocked. By the way, 2 left lanes are also blocked on the southbound side of the tri-state with emergency equipment, all part of that northbound accident. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. We'll have more snow today, 1 to 2 inches, widespread across the area, 3 to 5 inches in the far northern suburbs. High 29. Breezy, clear, cold, 15 overnight. Breezy and chilly, a little bit of sunshine, high 26 tomorrow. 22 right now at O'Hare, 29 at Midway, 21 in Aurora, 25 in Joliet, 28 Lakefront. Your next news update is at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
All right, good morning. Welcome to 2025. Amy Jacobson here, John Anthony.
Hey, what's happening?
For Dan Proft.
I'm happy to be here.
You got your new glasses on.
No, I don't. Are these yours? Readers?
I don't know, but you know what?
Yeah.
Not a sexy look. You
That's
look like
okay.
a grandpa, even though you are a grandpa.
I am.
Best
Happily,
looking grandpa in the world.
Thank you.
Where did you randomly pick up those glasses
I just took
from?
them out of the bowl over there.
Well, are they working for you?
Yeah, they do.
Well, then put them back on.
And I'm gonna put on my
no,
shades.
no.
I wear my sunglasses at night
Okay.
because I can.
All right, Sugar Bowl obviously was the target of a terrorist attack. I don't even want to say his name.
Yeah, I didn't say his name on my show Saturday.
Really?
Nope. Not gonna.
Not
give
going
him
to
the
do
notoriety.
it. Well, we learned more information over the weekend that he wore these Meta glasses, and he scoped out the area. He was there twice before the attack. He had the glasses on during the attack, but he didn't press play, so it didn't record or was broadcast live. Also went to Egypt, also went to Canada, but he also served this country, and he was born here.
Yeah.
Fifth column action. I mean, was he recruited?
Yeah, that's a good
While
question.
he would 312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line. You could also text us at 312-642-5600. You don't have to type in DA, just text us with a comment because this is not sitting well with a lot of people. And to begin with, the Allstate Sugar Bowl, the Allstate CEO who delivered this message pretty much praising the terrorist and not, giving any peace of mind to the victims of 14 people who died and 34 were injured.
Welcome to the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Wednesday, tragedy struck the New Orleans community. Our prayers are with the victims and their families. We also need to be stronger together by overcoming an addiction to divisiveness and negativity. Join Allstate working in local communities all across America to amplify the positive, increase trust, and accept people's imperfections and differences. Together, we win.
Wow.
They didn't play or broadcast the national anthem. They played that at the beginning.
He paid enough for it, right?
312-642-5600 turnkey.pro answer line. Another out-of-touch elitist. Oh, by the way, Thomas Wilson from Illinois. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of people that want to cancel or change their insurance away from Allstate because of that. Well, guess what the bonehead move over the weekend was? They deleted it from social media. Well, what do you think that's going to do?
Nothing. It's already out there. People have gypped it and clipped it, and it's out there. It's still out there. The actual video is still out there on social media, though.
Right. They deleted the video message that was played during the Sugar Bowl. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was on X, formerly Twitter. It was gone with no explanation. But what about an apology?
Yeah, no.
What about possibly donating or starting a fund for the 14 victims' family members?
Yeah. I like
because some are having some problems coming up with burial costs.
I like what Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk criticized him. He said he's the founder of Turning Point USA. A jihadist killed and maimed dozens of innocent Americans in a hate-fueled rampage. And the CEO of Allstate thinks Americans watching the Sugar Bowl need a lecture from him on overcoming an addiction to divisiveness and negativity. Absolutely not. That was from Charlie Kirk.
Yeah. There is no forgiveness. They should come out and just say, we apologize. And he should be fired or should step down.
Yeah.
Because they are so tone deaf.
Yeah.
And I'm saying they're not putting America first.
No.
They're putting jihadists first. And that's the problem. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. I didn't even think that they should have postponed the Sugar Bowl. Honestly.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Well, and then people that were at the game couldn't go to the game because some had to come back for work.
Yeah.
Guess how much they were selling tickets for?
How much?
$11.
What?
Mm-hmm. The next day.
I wonder how much they paid for it originally.
Well, they were going on StubHub for about $215, $230, $230, and then that attack happened, and it dropped to $11.
I didn't see that bowl. Was it the attendance low?
No, I mean people. Okay. It's Notre Dame. Come on.
Well, yeah, that's my team.
Notre Dame, Georgia.
Yeah,
big game. But I just thought, we're caving to terrorists because at first they said he had accomplices. And they said that because he dropped off 2 coolers at different locations along Bourbon Street.
Right.
And one man pushed the cooler, but he wasn't working with him, but he was pushing the cooler kind of toward the restaurant, one of the restaurants, and they thought that he was possibly working with other people.
Yeah.
And then they came out and said, oh, no, he was working alone and it's not part of a group. But the bottom line, they had the barriers they could have put those barriers up.
Right, but they initially told us it wasn't a terrorist attack.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So the right hand's not talking to the left hand.
But the mayor did.
The barriers, though, were under, they said, construction because they're getting ready for the Super Bowl.
Well, the
not under construction, but being fixed.
Well, the police chief says she didn't know what I guess these yellow barriers that they could have used. She didn't know that they had them. How do you not know that?
This is Ann. Her name's Ann Kirkpatrick. By the way, just in case you want to know, she was one of the 3 finalists to be our police chief back in 2016 under Rahm Emanuel. And thank goodness. She did come to Chicago PD for a while. And I'd love to hear from any police officers who worked with her. She was in the special unit division for a while before I think she moved to Oakland. She was a police chief in Seattle. She's a DEI hire. Yeah. And this is an example and a graphic example about DEI hires.
What you see behind us is what we call hardening the target. So we have brought in heavy trucks. You will see when you go down Bourbon, you will see yellow, what we call archers, and they're along the sidewalk. And that would be to be preventive. If someone had, or if this particular terrorist went around up on the sidewalk, that's what that would do, okay? It would slow that down for anyone who thought that they could breach our targets. And so those are some of the main differences we are done in the quarter. Also, you are going to see an incredibly large presence of police. And we are, though, confident, but we want our community to feel confident and know they are confidently safe. And that's what we're going to do. So right now, I can declare to you that the Bourbon Street is open.
Chief, where did those archers come from?
Sorry?
Those yellow archers, where did they come from?
Actually, we have them. I didn't know about them, but we have them. And so we have been able now to put them out.
Okay.
Even the reporters, you didn't know about yellow arches?
Yeah.
We had them, but I didn't know that we had them.
Yeah, but the mayor's office, who does the planning for these type of events?
The mayor's office should normally be in coordination with the police superintendent and working together.
Yes.
To keep not only the people of New Orleans, but visitors, because tourism is one of their biggest, that's the biggest business in New Orleans.
Yes, I agree. I don't see how. I mean, they are culpable. What happened in New Orleans should have never happened. Did you see the video of those cops running? I mean, as soon as they heard the crash, the cops they were standing on the corner and they just bolted. A lot of people
toward the action.
Toward the action.
Yes.
A lot of people
not away from it. But that Ann Kirkpatrick, who worked here in Chicago, shame on her.
Where's she from? With that, I heard a southern dialect.
That's called. She's talking down to us. She sounds so condescending. Like we have these things.
Yeah. Or
she's
Southern.
from Clown World.
I hear a Southern drawl.
Whatever. She's so incompetent, and she should be fired immediately, too, along with the Allstate CEO, Thomas Wilson. Joe in Hoffman Estates, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Good morning.
Hey, happy Monday, guys. I was, you could tell from the Bud Light commercial where people just said enough with this, and on through a lot of different companies. President Trump's resounding win, and now with Allstate people canceling, the DEI and the go woke, go broke is starting to really, really pan out, and I'm happy to hear it.
Yeah, well, we need these people to lose their jobs, though.
Yeah,
I mean, that is such incompetence. Thanks, Joe, for the phone call. Appreciate it. Got a text message. The New Orleans mayor, or can you read that, John?
Yeah, can I put my readers on?
Oh, please.
Here.
You mean somebody else's readers?
Well, I don't know. Maybe Dan's. The New York's.
Dan don't wear those.
I don't know. Maybe Sean's Dan. The New Orleans mayor and chief of police were grossly negligent in providing safety to the Bourbon Street area. I hope they pay for it in court.
Good.
Oh, there will be some lawsuits coming out of this.
Oh, I'm sure there will be, especially when they openly admit, like, oh, we had them, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
Take stock of what you have because you're in charge, woman.
Did you see the video?
She gives female cops, though, a bad name.
Yeah.
And that's what pisses me off.
Yeah. Dominic Izzo, I'm sure. I haven't seen him come out with any video about her yet.
Who?
Dominic Izzo, former cop. He has a podcast. He eviscerates a lot of women cops. I haven't seen him come out.
Oh, well, he's got a lot of material to work with her. George in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Amy?
Yeah. Hi, George.
Happy New Year.
Thank you.
Did Allstate say anything to refrain from fat shaming? I know how much you guys enjoy that, especially you. And
George.
I'm being silly. Being silly, Amy.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it.
Is that
Not
in relation
really.
to
I know.
Pritzker or something? I don't know.
No, we had to talk about Ozempic and things like that.
Oh, okay.
Craig in Mount Greenwood. Hi, Craig. Happy New Year.
Hey, same to you, Amy, and always a real joy to hear you guys together. You and John Anthony, how you do a very good job. Hey, John. Hey, what I want to say. Well, before I make my point, that Granny, that Granny Clampett with the Orland police chief.
She reminds me of, yes.
I think Dan dubbed her that. Didn't Dan Proft dub her Granny
That's
or whatever?
exactly who she reminds me of.
I've heard it a couple times now, and she is prime material for FBI. That's so she's got a career, but it's like with a 3-letter agency. Now here's my point. Early on in Biden regime, they made, I don't know if it was through a executive order or whatever, but the whole thing with the FBI and CIA, their whole focus was directed towards, on our soil, our people being these extremists and all this stuff. And some people don't really pay attention what that meant. They took their most assets and their most important assets and everything, and all the spying and listening on phone calls and all that stuff. It was all on these people, like January 6 people, mothers and fathers who were going to pray at a clinic, teach parents, going to schools. They used all their power and everything. These 3-letter agencies against Americans. They don't have time to follow any of this stuff or to be able to stop any terrorist attacks. There's no focus on. I mean, how is it that these people can get away with something like that and not have some accountability? Somebody should actually go to jail for what they did against the American people.
Thanks,
you
Craig.
agree?
Oh, yeah. No, I agree. Because even President Biden, there's a montage. I have it somewhere here where, and if Justin, if you could help me out, I'd appreciate it because I'm having a hard time seeing.
Here you go.
Oh, no. Here, when the main focus was not terrorist attacks, guess what our biggest threat was?
White supremacy.
Yeah, white supremacy and Trump.
I talked about that on my show.
And Trump people.
According to the intelligence community, terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today. Not ISIS, not Al-Qaeda,
Oh, God.
white supremacists. According to the United States intelligence community, domestic terrorism from white supremacists is the most lethal terrorist threat in the homeland. The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
Yeah.
So
that's not just 2021. That's 2022, 2023, 2024.
I covered this on my show. I read that report. They added white supremacy acts that came from prison. they added the Proud Boys into this act of white supremacy. Now, if you know anything about the Proud Boys, Enrique Tarrio is not white. He's Cuban and a few other, mulatto type
me
stuff.
with Tarrio.
Yeah, Enrique Tarrio.
Right.
And they added a lot of the deaths that happened between the Proud Boys and whoever. Proud Boys are not a white supremacist group. They got a ton of. It's a huge. I know because I met them. I've been in company with them, and they're from all Mexican, black. I mean, they have everything within the Proud Boys.
Yeah, well, I mean, Biden.
But they're at it.
Well, Biden, the FBI, took their eye off of terrorists and focused solely on Trump supporters.
Of course.
And trying to paint them as the biggest threat to our homeland.
The stories you need to know to start your day. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Can you believe it? 2025 is here. As you start this new year, you have probably been thinking about your resolutions. And let's be honest, your well-being has probably been on top of your list for years. But this year, maintaining your wellness goals is easier than ever with Balance of Nature. Balance of Nature's whole food ingredient supplements have 31 varieties of fruit and vegetable ingredients, from tomatoes to sweet potatoes. No synthetics or added fillers. Finally, a resolution that will be a breeze to keep. Make 2025 the year you feel your best and keep celebrating for years to come. Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. And get this exclusive New Year's offer by using discount code Chicago.
Papa Nicholas Coffee, a Chicagoland tradition for over 5 generations, combines heritage and innovation in every cup. Our coffee is locally roasted, hot air roasted, and cold blended in small batches to ensure premium quality. Whether you prefer a 12-ounce bag or a 28-ounce bag, or even the convenience of K-Cups, you'll find Papa Nicholas Coffee at your local retailer. Taste the difference that 5 generations of expertise brings. Choose Papa Nicholas Coffee, because great coffee is our family tradition. Visit online at papanicholas.com. That's papanicholas.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, certifying the 2024 election starts today. D.C. is all boarded up and remembering what happened a few years ago, who was where and when, and the lies that were told. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
ComEd restoring power to a couple of South Shore condo buildings amid dipping cold temperatures overnight. CPS students return to the classroom as CTU contract negotiations continue. Lake effect snow causing issues on the roads, and the Bears beat the Packers. WIND Chicago News Time, 6 o'clock.
Winter is hitting Americans hard from the Midwest to the East Coast. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. A storm blanketed Kansas, moving east.
We also have a pretty thick layer of ice that's currently under all of this snow, which has made things very treacherous. We know that a lot of the roads, unfortunately, were very slick, especially on Saturday afternoon into Sunday. That led to countless accidents.
Fox Weather's Kendall Smith in Kansas City, Missouri.
We picked up 11 inches of snow at Kansas City International Airport on Sunday. That was, in fact, the third largest single-day snowfall total that we've ever seen here.
Now, a third of all flights out of KC are canceled today, and in all, there are more than 1,300 flight cancellations. There are also a lot of schools closed and more than 250,000 power outages from Missouri to Virginia. Washington, D.C. could get a foot of snow, but Congress still plans a joint session
to certify a presidential vote via the Electoral College. It is on this day a campaign victory becomes official. The last time the two chambers of Congress met to perform this task was in 2021, the day in which a mob infamously entered the Capitol and interrupted the proceedings.
Fox's Evan Brown. President Biden will go to New Orleans today to meet with victims and their families of the New Year's Day terror attack when an Army veteran turned ISIS supporter drove a truck through a crowd, killing 14 people, injuring more than 30 others until police killed him.
The FBI says the Shamsuddin Jabbar traveled to Egypt and Canada in 2023, and they're looking into how that may or may not have tied into the attack.
Fox's Madison Scarpino also reports from New Orleans Jabbar made 2 trips to that city before the attack as well. The Golden Globes were awarded last night.
The Brutalist was the big winner in film in the drama category with 3 awards, while in musical or comedy, Emilia Perez took home 4 on the TV side. Shogun dominated with 4 awards.
Fox's Michelle Polino. Shogun got Best Drama. Hacks got the Golden Globe for Best TV Comedy. America's listening to Fox News.
21 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer. And good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Scott. ComEd crews were able to restore power at 2 South Shore condo buildings early this morning. The outage plunged about 180 customers into the cold and dark without heat, electricity, or even a working elevator, all while temperatures were dropping. The outage happened overnight, starting actually at 4 p.m. Sunday and then continued into the overnight at the 2 buildings near 73rd and South Shore Drive. Bears snap a 10-game losing skid, beating the rival Packers 24-22 at Lambeau yesterday. Bears ending the season at 5-12. We'll pick up that more in sports in just a moment. Lake effect could cause snow on the roads in the Chicago area today, especially in the north suburbs where a winter weather advisory is in effect until 4 p.m. for Lake County. Massive 40-vehicle pileup on I-70 just east of Effingham kept that major national highway shut down for hours on Sunday. Lanes have been reopened this morning. Contract talks continue between the Chicago Public Schools and the Chicago Teachers Union. 2 sides have not reached a deal after 8 months. CPS CEO Pedro Martinez says as kids go back to school today, an eventual agreement must be fiscally sustainable.
The eventual agreement must be aligned with our strategic plan. It must be financially sustainable. And if we overextend ourselves today, it will be our children and staff that pay the price tomorrow.
And in Lake County, a man and boy are in custody following a shooting and multiple police chases. Authorities say deputies located a vehicle in a ditch early yesterday in the area of Green Bay Road and Bonnybrook Lane in Beach Park. 2 women inside that vehicle suffered severe gunshot wounds. They were rushed to a nearby hospital. An investigation revealed the victims were driving home from a bar and restaurant on Green Bay Road when someone pulled alongside and shot them. A Waukegan police officer later spotted the suspect vehicle racing away from officers multiple times before crashing near Route 173 and Joanna Avenue in Zion. 2 suspects were eventually captured, a rifle and pistol recovered from that suspect vehicle. Bears snapping at that 11-game losing skid against the Packers with a 24-22 win. Bears quarterback Caleb Williams says it's a good start to the offseason.
Didn't go our way, whether it was the Hail Mary or a bunch of other things. Being able to do it this way, being able to end the season off the right way, being able to have the first win of 2025 versus Green Bay, 2-minute drive, couldn't ask for a better way.
DJ Moore, 9 passes, 86 yards, and a score. DeAndre Swift found the end zone. Chicago finishes 5-12, and the work to find a new coach and perhaps a GM starts today. NFL regular season in the books, capped by the Lions clinching the NFC's top seed with a convincing 31-9 takedown of the Vikings last night. Right before that, the Patriots fired head coach Gerard Mayo. FCS title game tonight, North Dakota State and Montana State. Division III National Football Champions, North Central College of Naperville. At 6:05, we'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Larry Elder is stunned by the numbers.
Check this latest poll result. 41% of young Americans say killing of the United Healthcare CEO was, quote, acceptable. Close quote. I kid you not. So you're unhappy with rising healthcare costs, and that's what you want? 41% of young people say it's acceptable? Really?
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
A great smile can make you feel happy and confident. So when you consciously conserve your teeth, that glowing smile will show through. At Best Dental Group, doctors Economos, Gave Alice, and their staff are ready to help you create that perfect look or maintain the one you have now. Along with general dentistry, Best Dental Group is a multidiscipline practice with an orthodontist, periodontist, and prosthetic specialists on site. They use the newest breakthroughs in dental technology such as titanium implants, Invisalign clear braces, and laser treatments. Don't let fear get in the way. They can recommend sedation to make your experience as comfortable as possible. Best Dental Group is located in historic downtown Bartlett and is a multilingual office. Call 630-830-4930, 630-830-4930, or visit bestdental.org. Best Dental Group, sharing your conservative values and helping you to conserve your teeth.
If pain is affecting your life, I have the perfect New Year's resolution for you. Make 2025 the year of feeling good again, the year of moving better, sleeping better, feeling more alive, and do it with Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, it doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Over 1 million people have turned to Relief Factor. Feel the difference it can make in your life. Give their 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day, and it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. You can start feeling better in 3 weeks or less, and every day you feel better is a day you live better. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, make 2025 the year of feeling good again. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
My debt problem started probably about 2016. I needed my life to change financially. I called Trinity and I ended up joining based on high credit card bills and high interest rate. And my counselor at Trinity has been great, and Trinity has been helping me to get on the right path of paying off these credit card bills, bringing down the interest rate. They have consolidated my bills into one low monthly payment. And now I am finally getting out of credit card debt. So I just want to say thank you, Trinity, for showing me a better and greater path.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Sharon, and soon I will be debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
6:09 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. Bartlett, West Bartlett Road, east and westbound between Devon and Western shut down entirely. And an accident investigation continues as freezing drizzle and lake effect snow are dropping across the area. That has been a trouble spot for the tri-state, especially northbound, with an accident just cleared after Sibley and northbound, a left shoulder accident between Dempster and Gulf Road. Dan Ryan jackknife semi outbound on the Ryan between 91st and 95th. Traffic, a service of the AM 560 Advantage, where membership has its privileges. Join today at 560theanswer.com/join. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast with Andy Robb.
Windy for today with snow at times. 1 to 2 inches accumulating. The high 29 for tonight. Mainly clear and cold. Low 15. Breezy and chilly with partial sun tomorrow. High 26. I'm Andy Robb on AM 560, The Answer.
Freezing drizzle dropping across the area. A little bit of fog, too. Major problems this morning. 22 at O'Hare, 24 at Midway. Cancellations at O'Hare. Call ahead on your flight. Next news at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Four years ago today, January 6th, 2021.
Yes.
The day of infamy.
So glad I didn't go.
Oh, so you were...
I had an all-expenses paid trip, hotel, flight, everything to be paid for.
To go to D.C.
I felt something off. My spidey senses said, don't go to this.
But it wasn't an insurrection, and Trump was never charged
right.
with an insurrection.
Oh.
Because it was how would you categorize what happened 4 years ago today?
Not an insurrection, of course.
But it wasn't a riot. Well, or what?
well, did the FBI? So I had this guy call my show because.
By the way, that voice
John
belongs
Anthony.
to John Anthony.
Black
and Right Radio.
When I don't know if you, Dan, I believe Dan played the audio, or maybe it was Sean Thompson. He played the audio of Chip Higgins, or Representative Clay Higgins, talking about that there was over 200 FBI agents, or whatever they want to call themselves, whatever the people on the ground were that were in there. And I recall my friends who actually went and were arrested because of J6 saying that there were people they believe were FBI people or people, moles there who were breaking the windows.
Oh, yeah, they were encouraging bad behavior.
Correct. Now,
come on in. The National Guard could have been called in, but Nancy Pelosi said, no, we're fine.
Yeah, expose them all.
She knew damn well that was not going to be fine.
But expose them all. If they created the chaos and then drew in the Trump supporters, I want to know who they are. Is it video of all these people breaking windows, telling people to go into the Capitol? Were these the FBI people? If so, how could these people be charged with the crimes that they were charged with? How? Tell me how. I'm still trying to figure that out, and that's why I can't wait until we interview Cash.
Yeah, Cash Kelly, who was in jail for 3 years.
3 years
for being at the wrong place at the wrong time, or
Basically
maybe the right place at the wrong time. Trespassing. He's going to join us at 8 o'clock. Would he do it all over again?
Right.
But in the meantime, today they are certifying the 2024 election with Trump and D.C. They're not taking any chances. They're all boarding up.
Today, fencing and barriers around the U.S. Capitol. 4 years after a mob of pro-Trump forces attacked it, stopping the counting of Electoral College votes and delaying the certification of Joe Biden's victory.
The eyes of the world will be on the United States Capitol to see what happens here on January 6th.
This time, a clear perimeter established around the Capitol complex, police shutting down multiple streets for tomorrow's midday proceedings, where Vice President Kamala Harris will oversee the counting of President-elect Trump's 312 Electoral College votes and her own defeat. Unlike in 2021, when prominent Republicans objected to the results, tomorrow
there will be no election denying on the part of the Democratic caucus.
Well, this is very exciting. This weekend, Trump on stage at Mar-a-Lago still admonishing his former Vice President Mike Pence for not rejecting Electoral College votes 4 years ago.
Those votes could have been sent back as they should have been able to.
Trump speaking at an event Saturday night that included some of his most prominent backers in those efforts to overturn the 2020 election. Those allies who also spoke included Jeffrey Clark, John Eastman, Rudy Giuliani, Peter Navarro, and Michael Flynn. Trump giving each man a shout out from the stage.
What they've done to Rudy, but Rudy's going to come out on top. It's just a question of time.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. And according to insider paper on X, Donald Trump is expected to grant clemency to over 1,000 people convicted in connection with the J6 attack at the U.S. Capitol.
Yeah. And they call them human assets. Thanks, Kenneth. But Amy, when you look at it, this is ridiculous that they even had to have gone. Especially, there's still people there waiting to be sentenced. They remember throughout the last 4 years they've been rounding people up, and there's still people there waiting to be sentenced. That's insane.
Well, Nancy Pelosi was interviewed yesterday by, what was it? Oh, I think Face the Nation, yes, about pardons and people that, who are maybe at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Do you think the nonviolent attackers deserve to be pardoned?
The nonviolent, I think that's a violent attacker.
Oh, come on.
With the intention.
The violence itself.
Yeah.
The violent language, you think?
The violent language, yes, the intention. And, of course, the intention to attack the Vice President of the United States. Now, it didn't end that day. As you know, he called out to these people to continue their violence. My husband being a victim of all of that, and it's still, he still has injuries from that attack. So it just goes on and on. It isn't something that happens and then it's over. No, once you are attacked, you have consequences.
So how is the J6 event related to Nancy Pelosi's husband getting beat up at home by an intruder who is a crazed man?
Right. We still don't know the particulars of that case.
No, because they shut that guy
we still
up.
Don't know the particulars of that case. But Amy, when you look at let's look at it from a macro perspective. Trump and what was happening was a constitutional process, right? They didn't take it to and burn up police stations and court buildings. They took it to the people who were in power because they had a grievance against the government. They took it to the people they had a grievance with. And it was a constitutional process. Now, did the FBI lead the charge in making J6 as big as it was?
Yes, because they needed something to get Trump.
And she was...
Again, I mean, they changed so many laws and so many statute of limitations to get him on civil and criminal charges. And nothing was sticking. So this was their everything. I remember they had J6 committee hearing meetings during prime time.
Yeah.
Thinking, now we're going to nail the SOB.
Yeah, that was a farce.
Yeah, it was a joke. And then the lies they made up that he tried to grab the steering wheel to turn the car around.
Yeah. And then now
give me a break.
They're saying that allegedly Liz Cheney coached her in this.
Oh, Cassidy Hutchinson.
Yeah, Cassidy Hutchinson, that there was some contact between those two to come up with this story, allegedly. If that's true, I mean, you could tell that they were going to, I mean, they haven't stopped coming after Trump.
With a medal last Thursday. We'll
and
get
Soros.
to that later. And Soros, too. Nancy Pelosi, should the pardons come down from Trump?
A person who's going to be president of the United States who thinks that it's okay to pardon people who are engaged in an attack. But let's do this. Let's just say, okay, to the American people, this is what this is about. Do not be conned by the denial of the election of 2020. And why would he be saying that? But he is. And then on top of that, the denial of what happened on January 6th.
Did she see Biden's clemency and pardon list of the people that he's provided clemency and pardons to, commutations and pardons to? The people that were on death row?
Tens of thousands.
People that killed people?
Yeah.
I mean, the only person that was killed that day was Ashley Babbitt.
Yep.
So when you look at Biden and you look at clemencies and pardons and commutations throughout the last Democratic presidential presidents, they got some very suspect people on these lists. And she wants to talk about people, a grandmother. You remember we interviewed somebody, remember the grandmother?
With cancer?
Yeah.
Who just walked through the...
Just walked through.
Just walked
taking
through
pictures.
She was invited in, and she was like, oh, look at this. She was staying within the rope lines, walking through. But Nancy Pelosi's not done yet.
Of the 1,600 defendants here, we're really only charged with trespassing. And when you look at the profiles... University of Chicago did a study. Half of those who broke into the Capitol were white-collar workers. They were small business owners. Didn't necessarily have a criminal record. When you look at that profile, you said intention. It was the intention itself you think that needs to be considered, more so than the crime, that it casts the crime itself of trespassing in a different light for you.
Well, the president said he would go on a case-by-case basis.
Right.
So I assume that some of those people may not have engaged in the violent activities that some of the others did. Look at this beautiful Capitol, the dome built by Lincoln. Under Lincoln's leadership during the Civil War, they said, don't build the dome. It takes too much steel and manpower, they said, from the war effort. And he said, no, I have to show the resilience of America. Okay. And then under that dome, you saw flags, the flags that,
and they're showing Confederate flags and don't tread on me. Horrible
under the dome
flags.
of Lincoln.
I have a don't tread on me flag. It's not a horrible flag.
No, but there were, some Confederate flags, whatever, freedom of speech.
Yeah.
They can fly or walk around with whatever flags they want. By the way, real quick, on an ancillary issue, but not really. AOC, remember that day she thought she was going to get raped and killed on January 6th? She wasn't even there.
What?
But don't forget this.
I didn't think that I was just going to be killed. I thought other things were going to happen to me as well.
So what sounds like what you're telling me right now is that you didn't only think that you were going to die, you thought you were going to be raped.
Yeah. I thought I was.
And that you now understand, having thought about it, is because of your experience.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No
She
one's
was
called her out
incapable.
on this?
No, they have, but it was 4 years.
Yeah.
4 years ago, but I just wanted to remind people of what politicians are capable of. And
Of course.
she's going to be vying to be president someday, I'm
She
sure.
will. She will run.
She will, yeah, definitely. But there's your bartender for you.
Yeah.
Don't always believe your bartender. 312-642-5600. Let's go to the phone lines. Kip in Stillman Valley, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, I'm going to have to be brief. My phone's about ready to die. Listen, I really hope that they dig into this because this was all a sham. They were in the middle of peacefully doing the work that they were supposed to do there in the Congress. And before Trump made his speech for have people go down, they were already there. They were not Trump supporters. They were Antifa and other groups and that acting as MAGA supporters. They were already there. So I hope a lot more comes out because this is nothing but a sham, a false flag thing. And Happy New Year, y'all.
Hey,
Bye.
Happy New Year. Well, when you look at it, what had transpired? The congressman had who was it from Arizona that stood up and challenged the certification? Gosar, maybe,
I don't know.
then
Sorry.
Ted Cruz stood up.
Yes.
And that's what was happening when that happened. And come on, Amy. This is why they did not want Jim Jordan, Jim Banks on that committee, because they would have been able to push back against this farce of a committee. And this is why Nancy Pelosi chose who she wanted to be on.
And those two were those Rhino Republicans? Liz Cheney.
Kinzinger and Liz
Kinzinger,
Cheney.
yeah. But the J6 was meant to destroy Trump and the MAGA movement, and it didn't happen.
Yeah. Right.
It encouraged people to keep fighting forward. Scott in Frankfurt, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, you two. Great show. I was just thinking about this. We should really consider this day to be the Fed's erection, because essentially it's like D.C. is a group of inbred kennel dogs where they pretty much run around. If you know anything about Dalmatians, it's a big problem among some breeders, and at some point they get excited and they start dry humping everything, and that's your FBI, and that's part of why we need to kill it and rebuild it.
Yeah.
All right, thanks. Thanks, Scott, for the very colorful phone call.
I kind of spit out my water there.
Yes, you did.
Were you listening to Elder coming in? He had a former FBI guy who was basically a whistleblower, was suspended, and he was talking about what this guy just talked about, and I would love to get him on the show at some point.
What's his name?
I'll get it and talk about it.
But what was he saying? That
basically the FBI. He said that that the FBI shouldn't be involved. They have an intelligence wing of the FBI. He says he believes they need to get rid of it because that's the wing that's continuously going after private citizens here in America. So I'm going to look more into that.
But also, too, they told us earlier that 26 FBI assets were at the Capitol, and then that number jumped to 200.
Over 200.
And then, but I don't trust the FBI.
No. Or the CIA, for that matter.
Yeah, or anybody. I can't wait. What? 2 weeks from today, right?
Yeah.
Is that it? Just 2 weeks?
Yes, can't wait.
Oh, my gosh. Will our lives change? Will there be a seismic shift? Let's go to Rich in Indian Head Park. Good morning, Rich. How are you?
Good. Good morning, Amy. Good morning, John. How are you doing today?
Good.
John, you hit on a lot of the points that I wanted to make, but a couple of points is, number one, if they would have did what they're doing today to secure the Capitol, January 6/21 would have never happened. And as far as Pelosi, who is she to give us a history lesson? She's ridiculous. And AOC, she's got to be the biggest moron that's serving in Congress to say that they were there to murder and rape people. They weren't there for that purpose. They were there to stop the electoral votes from being counted.
Right.
So as far as that goes, these Democrats are so ridiculous, it's unbelievable. And another point, John, that you made is, why shouldn't Trump pardon all of these people on January 6th? Look at the people that pardoned all the murderers and rapists and all of that.
Right.
None of those people on January 6th were nowhere close to what Biden pardoned.
Yeah.
So I think that Trump should pardon everybody.
Full pardon.
Especially the people that have been in there for 3 years.
Yeah.
Come on.
Oh, yeah, and we're going to have Cash Kelly on at 3 o'clock.
I don't want
who spent
commutation.
3 years in prison because he was just walking through the Capitol. He didn't commit any crimes.
Pardons.
Full
I want
pardons.
full pardons.
Because they're political prisoners.
They're,
I've always thought that way.
They're patriots.
Glenn in Orlando, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer. Good morning.
Good morning. Happy New Year. I seem to recall that Judicial Watch was trying to get records from the DOJ on their attempts to get credit card receipts from Bank of America so they could identify who the people were in January 6th. I don't ever know what happened with that, but if they got records without a court order, that's illegal.
Well, there's a lot of illegal activity because remember, they also checked the flight logs of people flying into Washington, D.C. from the 4th to the 7th to see who came in. I mean, other people were in D.C. for other reasons.
Yeah. I have friends
not
that
just for thanks, Glenn, for the.
I have other friends that were there on the grounds but never went in. They would just all they did was just stay on the grounds.
Were they targeted?
They were not. They would. The FBI didn't visit them or anything. So yeah, they got them on video and everything.
On your smartphone, download the AM560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
You know, balance of nature is becoming pretty important out there to a lot of people. And when I first started, I was really impressed. I'm a healthcare professional, trained as a pharmacist. So anything that's natural I like, and so it made a lot of sense.
Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set, plus a free fiber and spice supplement with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive New Year's offer by using discount code Chicago.
As we near the end of the year, many families in Latin America and the Caribbean are struggling just to get by. Inflation, food shortages, and natural disasters have left parents unable to feed their children or access water.
When the kids go to bed and we just stay in the night talking about how it's very hard to see my kids go to bed with hunger and not having something to give to them.
For over 40 years, Food for the Poor has stood alongside families like these. Gifts of $500 from AM 560 listeners have already provided food for 10 children for an entire year. Now we're asking for your help with the next 4. Your one-time gift of $200 provides life-saving food for 4 children for a year and helps the community get water closer to home. Make your best gift today. Click the red Give Life banner at 560theanswer.com or call 844-862-4673. And we thank you in advance for your generosity.
Come on with this, people. Move it!
Did you really think you could make that company deliver yourself?
Oh, I cannot handle any more traffic.
You could be getting much more done at your place of business.
I've wasted 45 minutes and now this place is gonna close.
Time is money. Let Quick Delivery Service take on the traffic hassle for you. They'll deliver almost anything, from large pallets of materials to important documents, or both. No forms, no labels, no scanning. Just tell Quick Delivery Service where it's going, they'll pick it up, and get it to your destination quickly. Your cargo delivery is tracked in real time with GPS. Notifications are delivered right to your inbox. Visit QuickDelivery.com. That's QuickDelivery.com. Or you can deliver like this.
Seriously, another train?
Or get your delivery there on time with QuickDelivery.com. Or call 847-534-2244. 847-534-2244.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, will more cities add tolls to drop traffic? It begins today in New York. And you got to hear this one man's story of how much it'll cost him to visit his family.
I thought they were supposed to leave here in Illinois.
But now let's head into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Tolls going up on the Skyway today, too.
Oh, to what?
$7.85.
What?
I want to say. That's pretty normal. Yeah, that's not out of the ordinary, but the price
That's why I
goes up.
take 80.94.
Well,
Save
80.94 is an alternative as well. As you head out this morning, you're heading for some slick conditions, snowfall, especially across Lake County where there is a winter weather advisory. Real-time delays are up at O'Hare as well, too, because of the freezing drizzle mostly falling in the area. 93 cancellations at O'Hare related to the storm that is plowing across the midsection of the country. 25-minute delays at Midway and 25 cancellations. Congress set to meet today to certify the results of the 2024 election. The Capitol Police say heavy security is in place. Senator Amy Klobuchar of Minnesota says the security is needed for the counting and certification of the electoral vote.
We have, as you know, a new police chief, increased morale, many hundreds of more officers, and we have a plan and a strategy in place.
Along with adding more patrols, they're also adding extra officers. 4 years after some Donald Trump supporters rioted at the U.S. Capitol, 1,600 have been charged. President-elect Trump has called those charged political prisoners and over the weekend vowed to pardon many of them once he takes office. House Speaker Mike Johnson says Congress will hit the ground running this year.
I think at the end of the day, President Trump is going to prefer, as he likes to say, one big, beautiful bill. And there's a lot of merit to that because we can put it all together, one big up or down vote, which can save the country.
Republican lawmakers are working on a large reconciliation package, which may make it to the president's desk by April. Canada's Prime Minister is believed to be on the verge of stepping down today. Here's Fox's Jonathan Savage.
We're told no final decision's been made, but Reuters reports Justin Trudeau is likely to announce his resignation today. It would mean stepping down as leader of Canada's Liberal Party and ultimately as the country's Prime Minister. Trudeau's been in office for 9 years, but polls suggest his party's heading for a crushing defeat in an election later this year. The Canadian government's under pressure over immigration, housing and the economy. One of Trudeau's closest cabinet allies quit last month, criticising what she called political gimmicks. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
Colin Farrell takes home a Golden Globe Award for Best Actor in a Limited Series or a motion picture made for television.
No one to thank on this one. I did it all by myself. Just a raw, pared-away performance. 35, 34, too many people to thank. You all know it takes a village, whether it's on the small screen or the big screen.
He won for his role as Oswald Oz Cobb in The Penguin. ComEd crews were able to restore power this morning to 2 South Shore condo buildings. The outage forced at least 183 customers into the cold and dark. The 2 buildings went dark around 4 p.m. Sunday near 73rd and South Shore Drive. Bears snap a 10-game losing skid, beating the Packers at Lambeau 24-22, thanks to a Cairo Santos 51-yard field goal as time expired.
Once I saw myself making, I think, a 53 that way in warm-ups, I knew I had that and a few more to in a situation where the adrenaline was going to take over like it does on a game-winning. So we just... once we got into a 51, I just worried about putting the ball through.
A teenage girl is dead following a hit-and-run crash in Gary, Indiana. Person of interest has been taken into custody. The racketeering trial of Michael Madigan resumes today, following a long winter break for the holidays at the Dirksen Federal Building. And the family of an inmate who was left brain dead after an attack inside the Racine County Jail demanding answers yesterday. The family of Joseph Lee gathered for a vigil after he was taken off life support. The attorney for the family is B. Ivory Lamar.
It's not so much about the attack that took place upon Joseph. It's about the actions of the correctional officer. There have been reports that it took 45 minutes for a response to the attack on Joseph. That is what we want to be able to evaluate. That needs to be investigated, because if that is in fact true, there is a threat to the public safety of every single inmate in this facility.
And a Chicago woman is charged in the death of her one-year-old daughter last month. Marisol Vasquez appeared in court over the weekend on one count of first-degree murder, denied pretrial release. Vasquez's husband later told detectives she had said she was sorry for suffocating their child. Chicago sports, NFL regular season in the books. The day capped off by the Lions beating the Vikings 31-9, and then the Patriots fired their head coach, Gerard Mayo. Bulls used a dominant third quarter to beat the Knicks on Saturday, 139-126. They host the Spurs later on tonight. Big Ten hoops yesterday. The Fighting Illini have a 4-game win streak going after a win over Washington in Seattle, 81-77, and Northwestern lost to number 22 Purdue. The news, a service of Discover. Guess what? Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. 99%. If you don't think so, maybe it's time to face facts. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
We've started a new year. There's a buzz in the air. With the new incoming administration, what expectations do you have? Will we see a turnaround in the economy? Will inflation come down? And is there a way to stop the chaos on our southern border? Yeah, 2025 comes with some big expectations. And we're here to keep track of the goals. Here's to a great new year together. AM 560, The Answer.
Hello, Patriots. It's time to celebrate McHenry County. Join We the People of McHenry County on Monday, January 20th for an evening celebration of the inauguration of number 47, President Donald Trump. This is a great opportunity to have fun and celebrate with your McHenry County friends and neighbors. The special guest host will be Gene Ives, host of the radio show The Real Story on AM 560 and founder of Breakthrough Ideas. People will gather at Galati's Hideaway Restaurant in Cary, Illinois. Tickets will only be sold in advance for $30 per person. Dinner is included and a cash bar is available. Don't wait. Seating is limited. Tickets will sell out quickly. Celebrate, connect, and stand with We the People of McHenry County for a brighter future. McHenry County and the state of Illinois are worth fighting for. Galati's Hideaway Restaurant in Cary, Illinois. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets on sale now and only sold in advance at 2025win.net. That's 2025win.net.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
You know, balance of nature is becoming pretty important out there to a lot of people. And when I first started, I was really impressed. I'm a healthcare professional, trained as a pharmacist. So anything that's natural I like. And so it made a lot of sense.
Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal. Call 1-800-246-8751 or go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set, plus a free fiber and spice supplement with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive New Year's offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 30-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. 630-674-1551.
If better health, more energy, and detoxing your body are some of your priorities this year, get Active Liver today. You can find Active Liver in stores at your local CVS or online at Amazon or NewNordicUSA.com.
6:42 Team Hochberg traffic center time. Kennedy inbound already at 45 O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. An entrance ramp on the outbound Eisenhower block due to a stall. That's the outbound on-ramp from Route 83. Big delays in Bartlett, West Bartlett Road, east and westbound shut down between Devon and Western, all due to a bad accident and cleanup. You got a stalled train this morning in Libertyville, blocking Winchester Road, east and westbound, and delays in Carroll Stream, Schmalley and Longview with an accident. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast. Snow 1 to 2 inches falling across the area for most of us. More in the far northern suburbs where there is a winter weather advisory in Lake County. Windy as well, high 29. Currently, some light freezing drizzle officially at O'Hare and 22. Your next news update is at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Oh, it starts today. The congestion tax in New York. And I shouldn't laugh because, of course, Nightly News last night was saying, and they're thinking about doing it in cities like Los Angeles and Chicago. Basically, if you go south of 60th Street, here's me trying to act like I know about New York, then there will be a congestion tax. And here's a New York City reporter explaining how it works.
Motorists entering the congestion relief zone south of 60th Street will need to pay a toll during peak hours for small vehicles and vans, $9 per day, down from an earlier plan of $15. For trucks and buses, between $14.40 and $21.60. Riding a motorcycle, $4.50. State leaders say the money will fill the MTA's $15 billion budget gap, paying for subway improvements and new electric buses. The plan will also help get at least 80,000 cars off city streets. In June, New York Governor Kathy Hochul delayed the measure weeks before it took effect.
I have come to the difficult decision that implementing the planned congestion pricing system risks too many unintended consequences for New Yorkers at this time.
5 months later, Hochul revived the idea. Still, lawsuits from opponents, including New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy, poured in.
We're not against lowering pollution. We're for that. But there's a time, there's a place, there's a deal that works for New Jersey commuters and ones that don't.
And the MTA says that $9 daily toll will rise to $12 in 2028, and it will increase to $15 in 2031.
Yeah, it sounds like a good plan, doesn't it?
It
Well,
does.
here's this one New York resident who's going to have to pay to see his children. This is classic.
Starting today, the congestion pricing is going into effect. $9 each day that you pass 60th Street. And while I disagree with it for many reasons, for me in particular, it really hits home because I live right here on 61st Street in this building, and my car is right there, parked in front of my building. And if I want to go to turn around to go uptown to visit my kids who live on 79th Street, I have to pay $9 to go around the block
Wow.
because this is a one-way street, and that's a one-way street, and that's a one-way street, and there's no way for me to get uptown without going around the block and paying $9. And I think something has to be sorted out for Manhattan residences.
And don't think that if you drive a motorcycle,
Yeah.
it's still $4.50. And I don't know where the e-bike comes in on that. Because that's a moving vehicle as well. I mean, you're not going as fast as a motorcycle, but it's a taxable object.
Yeah.
And I love Kathy Hochul. She acts like the hero in all this. Did you hear her?
Yeah, people still.
Oh,
vote for
no.
this stuff.
Yeah, no. She's a hero. She's looking out for you.
It is my job to make decisions that take into account the needs of all working New Yorkers. So I made the decision
to
put the congestion pricing program on pause while we devise a different path forward.
Here's the hero part. Ready?
State law requires that congestion pricing simultaneously raise money for the MTA and drive down traffic congestion. These are important priorities. But I believe that no New Yorker should have to pay a penny more than absolutely necessary
Here's
to
the hero
achieve
part.
these
Ready?
goals. And $15 was too much.
Too much. So,
and I'm
here's your
proud to
hero.
announce we have found a path to fund the MTA, reduce congestion, and keep millions of dollars in the pockets of our commuters. Under this plan, the MTA will implement a congestion pricing plan with a reduced daytime toll of $9
Hey,
beginning
there you
in
go.
January.
$9 instead of $15. But guess what?
You heard that correctly.
In 2028, it goes up to
15.
$15 anyway. But she acted like the hero. It was very reminiscent of Brandon Johnson, our mayor, saying, we're going to raise property taxes, but not at the first, not the first goal. We're going to go less.
We're gonna get you.
We're going to get you right now. Not 330 million, it's 68 million. Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so
they think that there are betters. With more on this, let's welcome back to the program our very good friend, Jim Urio, host of the Future's Edge podcast and special contributor to Wire Points. Good morning, Mr. Urio, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you as well. I just hearing her voice talking about it made me so angry on a Monday morning because it is so fascinating. They can no longer act like they care about poor people when they pass a law like this that is obviously so disproportionately affecting struggling people. Now they're going to have open roads for their limousine liberals going to their Broadway shows at night. It's absolutely unbelievable. And again, the $15 thing, to anchor the negotiation at 15 when you wanted 9 the whole time, who do they think believes them? I guess people still vote for him, so somebody does. I know all you said was good morning, and then you got all that.
Well, no, but hey, this is to help the environment. They want less traffic, less pollution. So is this, going to drop traffic numbers?
Who knows if it even will? It's so funny. Like when I drive into Chicago, every day I was like, sometimes I wish they made the tolls $5 just to get half the cars off the road so it wouldn't take me an hour and 15 minutes to get home every day. But it's not the right policy because you don't want to just open things up for. But by the way, that's only a small part of the discussion too. Them looking us in the eyes and saying that they're going to use this money for A, B, and C reminds me of 1972 when they put the first tollway in Chicago and they said literally it's just the tollway is just going to be to pay for the road that we built. I think it was 90 to Kennedy, and it's only going to take about 2 years and then there'll be no tolls. Well, Milton Friedman's words, there's nothing so permanent as a temporary government policy. So they're going to keep raising the money, and they're not going to spend it on public transportation or whatever. It's going to go into their slush fund, and they're going to spend it whenever the heck they please.
Well, then, but where do you think the zone would be in Chicago? Would it be near the Board of Trade? Would it be near City Hall? Or the Cook County building? And I mean, they're together anyway. But say if you have to go, get a marriage license or pay a water bill, that there would be a congestion tax if you drove into that area to pay your bills.
Yeah, because with us, it would be like a ring around the entire loop just because, in New York, it is so defined by the up and down of the island of Manhattan. And the further you go down is where Wall Street and downtown and where the real congestion is. But in Chicago, we're a little more spread out. And they will do it. I mean, anytime any lawmaker here is looking at there going, oh, another revenue stream, let's grab at it. But again, it will be disappointing to them because it will hurt the local economy. And this underscores the point that I wish that we didn't have this federal government that bailed out states.
Mm-hmm.
The state of New York, and sadly the state of Illinois, is heading towards the rocks, and they're doing so with a belief that the federal government at some point will bail them out with funds. But making stupid decisions like this, I think, have at it, and if you bust, you bust.
I think that will destroy the downtown, though. I mean, there's so many. If you drive, and I don't know when the last time you went downtown, but there's so many boarded up buildings.
Yeah.
State Street looks like a joke.
Yeah.
The Mag Mile is a fraction of what it used to be. I can't even imagine. Do you think, oh, God, I wonder if they'd start the congestion tax around Mag Mile.
Huh.
Yeah, right. And my last time I went downtown was this morning. That's where I am now in my office. So, yeah, and yes, to do something which downtown areas need to be revitalized after what's happened over the last 5 years. I mean, commercial real estate is abandoned. The occupancy of some of these buildings. To do something right now to restrict it, it just shows how just completely incompetent some government is.
Yeah, Jim. But doesn't the Mag Mile, don't they have like this powerful group that come together? Because didn't they come after or go against something Lori Lightfoot tried to do, a tax imposing something on specifically the Mag Mile? I remember something like that.
I just have a vague memory of that too. And again, I hope so. Yeah. I hope there's a group of people, some business, things like the Chicago Economics Club will lean on these people and say, this is a dumb move.
Yeah.
First of all, you don't need any more revenue. You need to stop spending money like drunken sailors. So to act like you do is absurd. And now when you start talking about the environmental stuff, as soon as it becomes this religious ideology part of them, they think everything they do is fine, and they can say, oh, we're saving you. And, in the UK, they're talking about not being able to drive like 15, 20 minutes from your house without paying big tolls to try to keep people from driving.
Yeah.
This is some insidious stuff, in my opinion.
But Jim, you said they don't need more money. Well, not according to this article I saw on wirepoints.org written by Ted Dabrowski and John Klingner. They're trying to bring back the progressive tax.
Of course.
I mean, think about
that.
So
the thing that so cracks me up, and it has in the federal government and the 5 states, Illinois being one of them, that are broke all the time, and they say they have this crisis, this financial crisis, while at the same time they keep increasing spending. Like, who are you supposed to believe? Not them. They don't have a financial crisis. They have too much money. If they want to go bust, go bust.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks a state can't declare bankruptcy, and it's not really true. You just need federal permission. It happened once. Arkansas in 1933 declared bankruptcy. All these states are headed toward it, and there should be no impediments to it. People wouldn't lend Illinois money anymore if they thought they could go bankrupt, and then all of a sudden they'd have to clean their house.
But think about this. 25 states, including every Illinois neighbor, according to this article, have cut income taxes since 2021, but not Illinois.
No.
Yep.
Think about that. Think about,
I love it. By the way, I love competition between the states. Yeah, just let the better state win, and I'm standing in the losing state, obviously, as are you guys.
Well, do you think there'll ever be a time that we'll go back to pre-COVID days with office buildings being filled up again? I mean, I have 2 nieces who work. One's back at work Monday through Friday. The other one, they still go in 2 to 3 days a week, and if they need to stay at home or something happens or they can freely stay at home and do their job.
Yep, my daughter works 3 days a week in an office, 2 days at home, which I actually think, if I was that age, I think that's a pretty attractive solution. I think it's always going to be a hybrid. If anything, over the next 5 years, I think it'll start to slant back more to like 4 days a week in the office, because I think people are realizing that productivity does go down. But this notion of the federal government employees who such a extremely high percentage of them don't go to the office. And we know about the work ethic of government employees. Anyway, and I'm not even saying that it is just a fact that when you're in a non-productive job, that the pressure to produce is less. It's just that's the way government employees are. To put them at home also, gosh, I want that.
Well, I think a lot of those federal employees, at least one that I know, moved out of D.C. That's why she's not going to work, because she doesn't live there. Because the town of the crime is so high and rent is so high, and she's like, I don't have to live here.
Yeah, I want that job. Yeah.
Rent is too damn high.
Roll out of bed about 8:30. Yeah.
So we have 2 weeks until the inauguration. What are you going to be doing that day, Jim?
So again, I think it's a huge thing. I think it's pivoting. I think in our lifetimes there has been never been such a disparate, such a different, from an economic standpoint of an outgoing administration to an incoming administration. And I think if you've seen the stock market over the last couple of months, one of the things I think is that this huge transition, even though it's to the right place, even though that's inarguable. I mean, there are economic solutions of the administration that we were running against. It was asinine. But it's going to be a little bit clumsy. Like even today, the stock market's up like a full % right now just because Trump came out and said, well, these tariffs, they might be just on critical goods. Well, he said something like that. Nobody really knows what that means, but it's being interpreted by the market as a step back from blanket tariffs or really aggressive tariffs, which is a good thing. I think anytime he can make the transition seem less aggressive and less disruptive in the short term will be pretty good, and that's why the stock market's doing well today, and the dollar is actually traded lower on that news. But I think it's going to be a hard transition. I've said a couple times, I think 2025, both economically and from a stock market point of view, might be somewhat difficult. I think it's unreasonable to assume that because we had 20% the last 2 years, all of a sudden we're shooting out. By the way, you just asked if I was doing something on the Inauguration Day, and I gave you that whole answer. But yes, I will be having a toast at the bar on Inauguration Day.
All right. Jim Urio, host of the Futures Edge podcast and special contributor to Wire Points. We'll raise one for all of us 2 weeks from today.
I will. I certainly will. Why don't you come out? I'll see you at the bar. You too, John.
All right. Thanks, Jim. And Jim joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax, they know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Chicagoland certified financial planning professional Tim Stearns discusses taxes in retirement.
Most people are paying more in taxes and keeping less of their money to live and do what they enjoy. That's why we've put out the Retirement Tax Bill Calculator online. You can see with your own eyes just how much you might be overpaying. It's a valuable tool, $500 value, but we made it free for you to view and run your own numbers at MVPCFP.com. That's MVPCFP.com.
To run your retirement tax bill calculator, go to MVPCFP.com.
Investment advisory services offered through Cornerstone Securities, LLC.
AM 560.
The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, who is the worst Medal of Honor recipient? We'll talk to Steve Bucci about that and other items. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
ComEd restores power at South Shore condo buildings. Bears beat the Packers in the regular season finale. And a teen killed in a Gary hit and run. WIND Chicago News Time, 7 o'clock.
Winter is packing a punch. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and 60 million people are under alerts from Kansas, where they got over a foot of snow, to the East Coast.
Stay home, stay safe. Remember those folks out treating the roads or repairing utility lines.
Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear. There are about 300,000 power outages. Missouri to Virginia, and more than 1,400 flights canceled. And as the storm moves east, Fox Weather's Mike Seidel reports from St. Louis.
Here's what's on the way. Another 5 to 8 inches of snow just getting underway in Philadelphia. Most of it will miss New York City, but a big storm for the Mid-Atlantic. Many schools are closed, so many kids, millions of kids from the Midwest and Plains to the East Coast are getting an extended Christmas break.
Washington, D.C. could get up to a foot of snow and ice. Yet Congress will still convene in a special session with extra security in place to certify President-elect Trump's victory. 4 years after the January 6th Capitol riot, when Trump supporters stormed in and interrupted Joe Biden's certification.
Asked if President-elect Trump is still a threat to democracy, President Biden answered.
I think what he did was a genuine threat to democracy. I'm hopeful that we're beyond that.
President-elect Trump has described January 6th as a day of love and could pardon many of the defendants charged in the riot.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. The president made the comments at a gathering welcoming new members of Congress. Today, he'll go to New Orleans, days after the New Year's terror attack. And Fox's Madison Scarpino reports.
And the New Orleans mayor says that the top priority now is increased security, and she plans to speak with President Biden about that. He's set to be here this afternoon with the First Lady to pray and mourn with the families of the victims.
14 people were killed when Army veteran turned ISIS supporter Shamsuddin Jabbar drove a truck through a crowd till police killed him. Days after President Biden blocked a Japanese steelmaker from buying an American company, there's a lawsuit filed this morning by both Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel trying to preserve their $15 billion merger. America's listening to Fox News.
7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Delays this morning as you're heading into and out of Chicago and the suburbs at O'Hare and Midway. 93 cancellations, weather-related at O'Hare, 28 at Midway. The average delay on most flights at about 15 minutes, mostly due to other aircraft arriving and departing into major weather systems impacting the middle of America. ComEd crews were able to restore power at 2 South Shore condo buildings this morning. The outage in the area forced at least 183 customers into the cold and dark at 73rd and South Shore. The National Weather Service says a central part of the state is dealing with major snow and blowing snow. A massive 40-vehicle pileup happened on I-70 east of Effingham, shutting down that major national highway for hours on Sunday.
If you can stay home, stay home. And anybody that's on the interstates, find a hotel and let them get the roads cleared.
The crash happened about 30 miles west of the Illinois-Indiana border. Lanes have been reopened. Contract talks continue between Chicago Public Schools and the CTU as students return to the class today. CPS CEO Pedro Martinez says the eventual agreement must be financially sustainable.
The eventual agreement must be aligned with our strategic plan. It must be financially sustainable. And if we overextend ourselves today, it will be our children and staff that pay the price tomorrow.
Right before the break, the board fired Martinez. However, it's expected he'll remain on the job through the rest of the school year. The racketeering trial of Mike Madigan resumes today following a long break for the holidays at the Dirksen Federal Building. And an investigation is underway to determine the cause of a deadly fire in northwest Indiana that took the life of a man in the 200 block of South Longshore Drive near Fish Lake. The victim identified as Ronald Conrad. Bears snap an 11-game losing streak against their rivals in Green Bay, 24-22. Cairo Santos converts a 51-yard field goal as time expired. Bears interim head coach Thomas Brown says they executed well.
A lot to play for in this last game, and no better feeling than Cairo having a chance to come on the field. Great job by our field goal team to protect. It was perfect execution, drilled it, right game over.
Chicago finishes the season 5-12, and the work starts today to find a new coach. Bulls used a dominant third quarter to beat the Knicks over the weekend. They host the Spurs later on tonight. Fighting Illini Sunday, a Big Ten win over Washington, 81-77. However, Northwestern lost to Purdue, and our congratulations to the Division III national champions in college football once again, North Central College of Naperville. 7:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dr. Sebastian Gorka says we're watching the master.
I'm going to ask him right now, would you make it $200 billion and say
How perfect is that? You've got the guy right next to you. He's just committed $100 billion. Hey, dude, you want to double it? That is the perfection.
America First with Dr. Sebastian Gorka. Afternoons at 3, right before Sean Thompson at 4 on AM 560. The Answer.
If pain is affecting your life, I have the perfect New Year's resolution for you. Make 2025 the year of feeling good again, the year of moving better, sleeping better, feeling more alive, and do it with Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, it doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Over 1 million people have turned to Relief Factor. Feel the difference it can make in your life. Give their 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day, and it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. You can start feeling better in 3 weeks or less, and every day you feel better is a day you live better. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, make 2025 the year of feeling good again. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I take it because it makes me feel good. I mean, so that's why I take it.
My husband is over the moon about it, so I'm reordering.
I feel better.
He's been on it for 8 months, if not longer. He took it for a while, for like 3 or 4 months, and then he stopped taking it. And then once he stopped taking it, he's like, I need that back again. So we started doing it again. But I'm telling you what, it's amazing stuff. It truly, truly is.
Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal. Go to balanceofnature.com and sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set, plus a free fiber and spice supplement with free shipping and our money-back guarantee. Go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751 and get this exclusive New Year's offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
Well, it was during a 10, 12-inch snowstorm, and we probably shouldn't have been delivering, but we were delivering.
Ben and Arvid Huth from Penny Mustard Furnishings.
And they get to the end of the driveway, and it's a long driveway, like a quarter-mile long, and it has been plowed. So what they did was they carried that table a quarter-mile to the house, delivered it through 10 inches of snow, and then carried the old table, customer's old table, a quarter-mile back to the truck. That is just doing whatever it takes to get it done. Yep.
See more at pennymustard.com.
7:08 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. This update a service of Salem Surround. Go to surroundchicago.com today. Inbound Kennedy at 55 minutes. O'Hare into the Burn Circle interchange. Outbound Ike, you're delayed on the outbound on-ramp from Route 83. It's all due to a stall there. Dan Ryan coming in 23 minutes, 95th into the Burn Circle interchange. That winter weather advisory really slowing things up this morning. Drive with care as the snow and some freezing drizzle is falling, leading to accidents in Addison, Lake and Central, Carroll Stream, Schmalley and Longview, and in Bartlett, Western and Railroad. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Andy Robb.
Windy for today with snow at times. 1 to 2 inches accumulating. The high 29 for tonight. Mainly clear and cold. Low 15. Breezy and chilly with partial sun tomorrow. High 26. I'm Andy Robb on AM 560. The Answer.
23 at O'Hare, 24 at Midway. Your next news update is 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good Monday morning. Happy 2025. Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony in for Dan Proft while Dan hits the little white ball down the fairway.
Ah, somewhere warm.
Well, he's always somewhere warm. I think he's in a tournament.
Oh.
We have to check it out, but it's a golf tournament or a golf outing that lasts a few days. So thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. Always a busy news day when you're here.
It is.
2 weeks from today, Inauguration Day. And on Friday, Judge Juan Merchan, or how do you pronounce his name?
Merchan.
Merchan, yes. decided that he is going to sentence Trump this Friday for crimes against humanity. For the hush money case. It was not a hush money case.
Yeah.
This is just another one of those I got yous.
Mm-hmm.
And Trump is. I've got his response here. He just took to Truth Social, basically blasting the judge and the whole process and blaming this on the Biden administration because they tried to take him down time and time and time again. He can either show up to the courtroom on Friday or he can do it virtually.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't what?
I wouldn't show up.
You wouldn't show up?
Nope. I'm the president of the United States of America. Come to the White House. You know where I'm at.
It's going to be this what? The sentence is going to be an unconditional discharge, which means Trump is going to effectively not be punished for his conduct. And here is ABC 7 describing this. Hold on, stand by. Well, I can't find it.
Uh-oh.
But that's okay. That's what that's what is going to have to happen. But I think he has to show up.
Yeah.
That's part of the process.
Okay.
I think this is entirely stunning. We did not know what Judge Juan Merchan was going to do. He has rejected all of Trump's attempts to outright dismiss the criminal case following his conviction in May on 34 felony counts of falsifying business records. But there was this uncertainty about what it would mean for a president-elect to be sentenced in a criminal case. Could it be pushed for 4 years and have it hanging over Trump that entire time? And now we know the answer. Judge Juan Merchan has ordered Trump to appear either in person or virtually on January 10th, 10 days before the inauguration, to be sentenced. Now, the sentence is going to be an unconditional discharge, which means Trump is going to effectively not be punished for his conduct. And the judge said he does not want to interfere with the separation between the judicial and the executive branch, does not want to interfere with notions of presidential immunity. But he is, I think, signaling that there is a jury verdict. It needs to be respected. And so he is going to order Trump to appear for sentencing, even though that sentence effectively isn't going to be much of anything.
With more on this, let's welcome back to the program Steve Bucci. Served America for 3 decades as an Army Special Forces officer and top Pentagon official. Is a visiting fellow in the Heritage Foundation's Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies. Good morning, Mr. Bucci. How are you?
I am well. Happy New Year, and thanks for having me back.
Yeah, it was kind of a Friday surprise. I believe the timing is everything when we found out that Judge Merchan wants him to, was going to go through with this and actually sentence a former president and soon to be current president of the United States.
Yeah, this is, totally unprecedented. The follies of this particular court is kind of ridiculous. This is the latest twist. Instead of just admitting, okay, look, we tried to take Trump down, but it failed, so let's just roll with it. He's president now. They're trying to get their last licks in with this kind of thing, where they're not going to punish him with anything, but they want to still tar his name. And he doesn't even have to show up. He can do it virtually, which I would agree. I wouldn't show up either. I wouldn't give this any more dignity than it deserves. So hook in by Zoom, say, yeah, what do you got, Judge? Take it, say thank you very much, and then continue the appeals. Because I think as it gets to a higher court, it's going to get thrown out. But Merchan's not going to admit defeat.
But they're using their positions of power against a political enemy. Is there any recourse for their actions? I mean, could they face any charges or pay for what they've done to President Trump?
That I don't know. I can check with some of my lawyer buddies there at Heritage, who got a lot more depth in the specifics of the law than I do. But I'm not sure Trump wants to waste any more time. I think he'll just turn his lawyers loose and say, you guys handle this. Let me know how it works out. But I don't think he's going to accept, having his name tarred this way, even if it comes with no punishment.
Yeah, and Trump replied on Truth Social on Saturday, corrupt judge or judges so blinded by their hatred of me and my political ideology to make America great again are making a mockery of the United States judicial system, and the world is watching in disgust. And he went on to talk about Jack Smith, you know, the evil and sinister prosecutor appointed by crooked Joe Biden to take him down was found to be illegally appointed by a corrupt DOJ and FBI. And then they raided his home at Mar-a-Lago with one of the dirtiest tricks ever, you know, perpetrated by one candidate as dumb as a rock, Sleepy Joe Biden. I mean, he just went off on all of this. But, you know, that's why I love Trump and I'm supported this time around. They have thrown everything at him. I mean, can you imagine one lawsuit going on, but then you have a civil charges and then you have criminal charges on top of that, and he keeps going.
Yeah, well, especially when you look at these particular cases, and they're not exceptional. There's lots of people who have been accused of these things or done these things and get nothing. They you know, I mean, Bill Clinton paid hush money multiple times.
Oh, that's right.
Nobody ever took him to you know, he went through a legal process the same way Trump did. They signed a deal that you know, gets him from admitting that he did anything, but he said, okay, to keep you quiet, I'll take your extortion and here's some money. You know, and then the stuff at the you know, over the real estate dealings, that's really ludicrous. When the banks you borrowed the money from come in and say, no, this is a perfectly normal, legitimate deal. This is how we do it. This is how we do it with everybody. And by the way, Trump paid us back in full early. We do business with him again anytime. But no, the judge knows more than the people in the real estate business, and for him, it's a crime. It's baffling to me how the judicial community doesn't rise up and say, look, we don't necessarily like this guy either, but what you're doing is wrong. Stop. You're embarrassing the entire profession. But they have it. I guess, as Trump says, their hatred for him is just so over the top that they can't see how ridiculous it looks for them professionally.
Yeah, and people forget John Edwards and what he did as it related to campaign funds. That was far worse, in my opinion.
And, absolutely.
And no mention of it. But, you know, I'm shocked that this didn't happen before today, because I don't know, Amy, I don't know if you have that audio of Jamie Raskin, Congressman Jamie Raskin, basically saying that they're going to do everything they can to stop this election from being certified because of the 14th Amendment.
Here it is.
What can be put into the Constitution can slip away from you very quickly. And the greatest example going on right now before our very eyes is Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, which they're just disappearing with a magic wand, as if it doesn't exist, even though it could not be clearer what it's stating. And so, you know, they want to kick it to Congress. So it's going to be up to us on January 6, 2025, to tell the rampaging Trump mobs that he's disqualified. And then we need bodyguards for everybody in Civil War conditions, all because the 9 justices, not all of them, but these justices who have not many cases to look at every year, not that much work to do, a huge staff, great protection, simply do not want to do their job and interpret what the great 14th Amendment means.
So, Stephen, will there be some shenanigans today in certifying the election?
I think there probably will be at least verbal attempts at this. I don't think the rest of Congress is going to buy it, fortunately. And I think they'll be able to certify the results. But, gee, you know, I thought you weren't allowed to challenge an election once it occurred. And if you challenged it, whether it was within the laws or not, that's somehow tantamount to treason. But I guess it's okay if you're a Democrat. It's just not okay if you're a Republican. You know, look, if we have a system that says, here's how you challenge an election, and then somebody does it, how in the world can that be an insurrection? Right. So I think that these so-called convictions and what they're raising now are a house of cards anyway. They were not legitimate, and to then say that they're, oh no, it's okay now for us to not certify the results. But boy, when you guys talked about it, it was, the end of the republic. It's just baffling to me that these particular Dems, the January 6th committee members specifically, see no irony in what they're doing and how they're doing it. It's just baffling. So I hope it goes smoothly. We don't need another big conflagration to split the country even more. Look, Congressman, Trump won the election. He won it handily. He won both the popular vote and the electoral college. Give it up. Go back to doing your job. But I guess they don't like to do that. They like to be TV stars instead. And we're stuck with this. But I hope it goes very smoothly and without controversy today. But I'm not holding my breath.
Well, we know over the weekend, President Biden handed out a few medals.
Oh, yeah, I have the list
you do?
here. Mm-hmm.
Who's on that list?
Well, you have Bono, U2 singer.
I can see that one.
He's not born, he's not an American citizen, but okay. Michael J. Fox, I
see that one.
I can definitely, Magic Johnson, like that. Lionel Messi, not born in America. But then, looky here, George Soros and Hillary Clinton. What do you think of that? George Soros, who gave $32 billion to Democratic candidates and states attorney contests throughout the country to put in liberal essays.
Yeah.
No, he didn't show up. His son got the Medal of Freedom, took it. I don't know why he was a no-show, but what do you think about all this, Stephen?
Look, I'm with you. Lionel Messi, look, he's a great soccer player, but, it's not like he's Pele, somebody that was a great soccer player for decades and decades and decades. And but he's not an American. Why is he getting the Medal of Freedom?
I don't know.
Just come on.
Same with Bono, but didn't Bono didn't he sing at some of Kamala Harris's campaign events?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is not even thinly disguised payback for political support, and just I think with the case of Soros, it's a definite quid pro quo for money. You remember how crazy everybody went when Elon Musk suddenly was, full up supporting President Trump. Oh my God, a billionaire, affecting our elections. This is terrible. Yeah, it's okay when their billionaire is affecting elections, and he's done it in more insidious ways. Soros doesn't just support the presidential candidate. He's down in local elections, city DAs, attorneys general in the states. He is trying to literally change and has done a lot of work in that direction, and it's horrific to then turn around and give him the Medal of Freedom. It's like, dude, this guy is so far from fostering freedom, it's ridiculous. He's fostering the dissolution of the American system if he's allowed to get away with it. He needs to be stopped, not rewarded for what he's done.
And they're complaining, the Democrats. Soros gave $32 billion. Elon Musk, he's only given $250 million. Not even close to the $32 billion that George Soros has given over the decades.
But, I'll tell you, I can hear it now from Democratic friends I have. You put those two bits of information side by side, and you know what they'll say? Oh, but this is different.
Oh, yeah, right.
And because it's always different when they do it. And these are people that are educated, smart. They're not ideologues, but they have so drank a Kool-Aid that if a progressive does this stuff, it's got to be legitimate. But if a conservative does it, it's got to be the end of the republic. And I'm sorry, we need to stop this political theater, look at the facts and judge the facts for what they are, and then make a decision. But this stuff is ludicrous. And Joe is wrapping up the most lackluster presidency in history with, pardons, more giveaways, now the Medal of Freedom. Okay, the Medal of Honor stuff he did, I did a tweet and I said, this is the first time I think I've agreed with anything Joe Biden did. General Cavasso, some of these other guys, you read their citations and it's like, yeah, these guys should have gotten the Medal of Honor a long time ago.
Yep.
But all these other stuff, these medals of freedom, the pardons, the things that have gone on, he's just heaping more shame on himself. He probably didn't even realize he's doing it. Probably by today, he's forgotten he gave away those medals.
Well, on this list, Ralph Lauren, fashion designer, didn't
really.
he clothe the first lady these past 4 years? I don't know. It's just all paybacks, that's for sure. All right, Jen, did you?
Yeah. There's a guy on Twitter. He said he's a former National Security Council member, and he's afraid that Donald Trump will not come in and remove every single member of the council. Joe Biden did when he came into presidency. If you look back, remember Alexander Vindman was on that council, and he was the one that brought forth the impeachment against Ukraine. Why is it important that Trump completely clean house as it relates to the National Security Council? Because this guy, he's saying that there's some people that are clinging and wanting to stay on that he thinks is going to be detrimental to another Trump term.
I think he's absolutely right. Look, all of those people we're talking about, like Vindman, are low-level functionaries. It's supposed to be a couple-of-year assignment, but military assignments and government service employee assignments, they can switch them out in a heartbeat. They can definitely switch out political appointees. To say that these people have some sort of right or need to stay there is completely false. It's a lie. So the president needs to remove all those folks and bring in people that he trusts that are in line with his policies. They're not independent actors. They are people that are there to serve the president and the president's policy initiatives. So it is perfectly fine, legal, and smart for them to completely remove that whole group. They're just the supporting people. They're not the National Security Council. The National Security Council are the cabinet members.
Right.
These guys are just their clerks and their research people. And they need to be people that are in line with this presidency, not the last one or the one under President Obama, which is what some of them ended up being.
All right, Stephen Bucci, we're going to have to leave it there for today. He served America for 3 decades as an Army Special Forces officer and top Pentagon official, also a visiting fellow at the Heritage Foundation's Allison Center for Foreign Policy Studies. Stephen, thank you so much, and we'll have you back next week.
Thank you.
Sounds good. See you then.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I am a senior citizen, and actually I've seen the commercials, and I started taking it because I thought, well, that sounds like a really good idea.
Well, I saw it. We watch Fox News, and I saw it on there, so I thought to order them. And I'm telling you, it's terrific stuff.
It makes me feel good. So me and my wife both enjoy it,
Because I can't do it without my Balance of Nature.
We've maintained it without taking a lot of food supplements we had been taking. We stopped and are just using Balance of Nature supplements.
Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal. Sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com and get this exclusive New Year's offer by using discount code Chicago.
The new year means new health goals, not just for your body, but your finances too. Your personal info is in so many places that are outside of your control. It only takes one mistake, and not even your mistake, to expose you to identity theft and lost funds. If your identity's stolen, LifeLock's restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your subscription money back, and resolve to make identity, health, and wealth part of your New Year's goals with LifeLock. Visit LifeLock.com and save up to 40% off your first year with promo code CLAY. Terms apply.
Why pay more for prescriptions? Stop overpaying and start saving with SingleCare. It's easy.
Find your prescription on singlecare.com, show the coupon at the pharmacy, and start saving. SingleCare works at pharmacies nationwide and is completely free to use, whether you have insurance or not. So the next time you fill a prescription, check SingleCare to make sure you're getting the best price. Take control of your prescription costs. Go to singlecare.com or download the free app today.
Are you heading into the new year with that same old joint pain? Get moving again in 2025 with help from our very good friends at QC Kinetics. You know, everybody's doing it, including Joe Rogan, who recently mentioned his positive results from regenerative medicine on his podcast. Revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. This is the future of medicine, using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. Want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints, get lasting relief with these amazing treatments? Call QC Kinetics. The consultation is free with Saturday appointments available. Deal with that joint pain now so you can make the most of the new year. Call 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. Again, 312-809-5955.
AM 560, The Answer.
New information about the terrorist attack in New Orleans. We'll begin there with Scott McKay, publisher of The Hayride and senior editor at the American Spectator. But first, let's stop by that newsroom. Busy man today with all the weather woes. Here is Mike Scott.
And delays at O'Hare and Midway, and freezing rain and icing falling over the area, causing delays at many major airports across the nation. President Biden heads to New Orleans today to meet with family members of victims of the New Year's Bourbon Street terror attack. Results of the 2024 election that saw Donald Trump win the White House are right now beginning to be tabulated as staffers and clerks begin to arrive to set up the counting of electoral votes. U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel are filing federal lawsuits today against the Biden administration after it blocked a merger between the two companies. U.S. Steel CEO David Burritt speaking on Fox Business this morning, accusing President Biden of siding with unions in exchange for an endorsement.
Of working with the unions, and he wanted to support them, even though this was wrong for our country and wrong for our workers.
After his decision to block the deal, President Biden said the country needs major U.S. companies representing the major share of U.S. steelmaking capacity to keep leading the fight on behalf of America's national interests. President-elect Donald Trump has also come out against that deal. Here in Chicago this morning, the ice and snow causing major problems. We're tracking delays and lake effect snowfall in Lake County, where there is a winter weather advisory until 4 p.m. and hazardous driving conditions because of the freezing drizzle. Contract talks continue between CPS and the Chicago Teachers Union as students return to the class today following a 2-week winter break. CPS CEO Pedro Martinez says the eventual agreement must be financially sustainable. Racketeering trial of Michael Madigan resumes today following a winter break. Former Illinois House Speaker's attorneys were calling witnesses when the trial paused on December 19. Chicago sports, Bears snap an 11-game losing streak against their north-of-the-border rivals, topping the Packers 24-22 at Lambeau Field. The Illini winners over Washington on Sunday. Big Ten West Coast swing finishes with an 81-77 win, and the Illini host Penn State on Wednesday. Northwestern lost at Mackey Arena to Purdue, and they host number 15 Michigan State next Sunday. 7:35 is our time. We'll have a check of traffic and weather coming up next on AM 560.
Larry Elder sees Trump already getting tough.
If they're paying their bills, and if I think they're treating us fairly, the answer is absolutely, I'd stay with NATO.
And Barack Obama complained about NATO not paying its bills. George W. Bush complained about NATO not paying its bills. Donald Trump complained about NATO not paying their bills. And guess what? NATO began to step up and paying their bills.
The Larry Elder Show, weeknights at 8, right before Sean Hannity at 10 on AM 560. The Answer.
When I hear realtors boast about servicing a 3-county area or selling a home every 15 minutes, I think, what level of service could their clients possibly be getting? This is Chris Jacobs with Century 21 affiliated in Inverness, and my message is a little bit different. If being a realtor for more than 20 years has taught me one thing, it's that all real estate is local. While I can't say I'm the #1 realtor in the country, I can tell you that over the past 10 years, I've sold more homes in Inverness than anyone else. My team specializes in Inverness, Palatine, and Arlington Heights. We pride ourselves on providing our clients exceptional customer service and local market knowledge. So if you're selling your home or looking to purchase a property in our area, then call me, Chris Jacobs, at 847-401-4859. That's 847-401-4859. Or visit us at chrisjacobshomes.com.
Each office independently owned and operated, an equal housing opportunity.
A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. They're limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
Did the Protestant Reformation suffer a premature death? Absolutely, argues the riveting book, Reviving the Reformation by Dr. Daniel Lang. The book of Acts chapter 21 verse 20 reports that myriads or tens of thousands of Jewish believers dwelled in Jerusalem, and they were all zealous for the Torah. Their leaders were guiding the early Messianic faith. 40 years after the death of Jesus, however, the Jews revolted against Rome. This rebellion caused a Roman hammer to crush Israel, destroying the temple and Jerusalem. Following this devastation, the leadership of the Jerusalem church fell into other hands. Reviving the Reformation recovers the lost first-century Messianic faith. It answers the most difficult questions that some dare not ask about traditional Christianity. Buy Reviving the Reformation on Amazon. For a deep discount, purchase the book securely from the author at revivingthereformation.com. That's revivingthereformation.com. And like Reviving the Reformation on Facebook. With biblical faith fading fast in Western culture, now is the time to restore the truth by reviving the Reformation.
Eggland's Best, the only eggs with more fresh and delicious taste, plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best, better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
7:39 Team Hochberg Traffic Center time. And this update is service of the AM 560 mobile app. Text the word app to 64636. Ice and snow causing delays this morning. Travel times really adding up. Kennedy inbound, 75 minutes. O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. The Kennedy right now on the outbound side has an accident between Damon and Montrose. The Ike on the inbound side is at 1 hour, 390 into the old post office. Stevenson inbound, 41 in from the Tri-State to Lakeshore Drive. Car fire, right shoulder blocked on I-57 northbound right at Sauk Trail, and the Bishop Ford inbound jammed up between 103rd and the Dan Ryan. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. Now your official Chicagoland weather forecast. Snowfall 1 to 2 inches and freezing rain dropping over the area, becoming windier today, high 29. Breezy, clear and cold, low 15 overnight. Freezing drizzle reported at O'Hare and Midway, where it's 24. Clouds and 22 in Aurora. Light snow in Waukegan, 23. Your next news update is at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Learning new information this morning about the New Orleans terrorist attacker. I don't want to say his name, do you?
I don't.
We don't need to say his name.
Nope.
No. But according to the FBI on the ground, do you trust the FBI? Well, they said that he used meta glasses to scope out the area 2 times prior to the New Year's Eve attack.
Meta glasses appear to look like regular glasses, but they allow a user to record videos and photos hand-free.
Where were the glasses recovered, and did Jabbar wear them during the entire timeline of the attack?
The glasses were recovered on the person of Jabbar, and we believe he was wearing them throughout the evening.
And he was recording the entire time?
So we don't have any indication that he was actually recording, but he was wearing those glasses.
I mean, can you imagine if he broadcast that live?
Yeah.
Facebook Live or Meta Live, that would have been just, I mean, it was horrific as it was. 14 innocent Americans killed. A clear jihadist. We're learning, too, that he posted 5 videos on his Facebook account proclaiming his support for ISIS. He joined ISIS before the summer, and he provided a will and testimony. But Jabbar
Did they say
also,
how he joined ISIS?
No, but we're going to get to that with Scott McCann, our guest. But they also said he served in the Army for 10 years and was deployed to Afghanistan in 2009. He had a real estate license that he let expire in 2023. So, I mean, the only reason why I want to learn more about him is to prevent this from happening again. But the FBI, I think, dropped the ball. And that's because Biden says our biggest threat is not terrorists. What was it?
White supremacy.
Yeah.
According to the intelligence community, terrorism from white supremacy is the most lethal threat to the homeland today. Not ISIS, not Al-Qaeda, white supremacists. According to the United States intelligence community, domestic terrorism from white supremacists is the most lethal terrorist threat in the homeland. The most dangerous terrorist threat to our homeland is white supremacy.
With more on this, let's welcome back to the program Scott McKay, publisher of The Hayride and senior editor at the American Spectator, and also author of Racism, Revenge, and Ruin, and King of the Jungle. Good morning, Mr. McKay. How are you?
Hey, Amy, how's it going? Hey, I've got a new book that I'm going to put out soon. I haven't started writing it yet, but I'll be done by the end of the week. It's the catalog of all the white supremacist terrorist attacks in the United States.
Yeah, that's right. So they were off the mark. Again, that was just an attempt to attack Trump and all of his supporters, something else that failed. But the FBI, how did they drop the ball on this one?
How long you got? They bring Agent Nosering out at the very beginning of this to say that it wasn't terrorism, and then they say that Jabbar acted alone when all of the evidence points to somebody set this whole thing up for him. He might have been the lone attacker here, but he clearly had help. So, I mean, I don't know how much confidence it inspires when you say, oh, yeah, we think this guy acted alone. I mean, how did he get the explosives? Who crafted the plan? This guy did this whole thing by himself. If he's that seasoned and competent a terrorist, my question is this. Why was he driving around New Orleans making Facebook videos while the crowd on Bourbon Street was petering out? Because at 3:15 in the morning, when he decided to hit the gas, he didn't really hit the gas. It was an EV truck that he was driving. But when he hit the accelerator pedal, the street was largely empty.
Right.
3 hours, 4 hours before that, it would have been a sea of humanity, the whole street would have been like a crowded nightclub. And those people would not have been able to dodge out of the way of the truck. He could have killed 1,500 people instead of 15.
Well, and also, too, why would they say it wasn't an ISIS attack when there was an ISIS flag in the back of the truck?
It's well, I mean, it's like a wannabe ISIS attack, in that interpretation. But it's still ISIS inspired. I mean, and of course that's a political narrative filtering the FBI statements. You're not supposed to call things ISIS because that means we have to do something about it. Whereas if it's just a lone nut, then, you shrug your shoulders and say, oh, well, and everybody can come back to New Orleans for the Super Bowl because we're all good. Which is
the
what
barriers
the
in place
that
now.
run New Orleans want. So, it's what's the old saying? A lie agreed upon. And I think that's kind of what we have here. I mean, I thought it was interesting that the FBI brought, like they had the millennial black chick who said it wasn't terrorism and then said, well, we don't think he acted alone. And then they bring in the balding white guy from D.C. in his nice suit who says, oh, no, he acted alone. Because maybe y'all will believe that. You won't believe anything Agent Nosering says anymore.
Agent Nosering.
And so, like, this whole thing is just, it just points out how utterly obvious it is to get these people out of office on January 20th and clean the slate as much as possible. Look, the city leadership in New Orleans is utterly dysfunctional, has been utterly dysfunctional for a long time. They had anti-vehicle barriers that they could have installed on the sidewalk at Canal Street and Bourbon. They didn't. The police chief, who's like a year and a half into that job, was fired as the police chief in Oakland prior to that. And, she's like, oh, I didn't know we had those in our stocks. Maybe that's not all her fault because she's got incompetent people below her who didn't give her an accurate inventory of what the city of New Orleans actually had. But maybe you want to find out, and apparently she wasn't all that curious. So, this should be the end of Ann Kirkpatrick. We're going to see the end of LaToya Cantrell this fall. None of the people talking about running for mayor of New Orleans are even as good as she is in terms of inspiring confidence in their leadership. And, of course, they're all committed socialists as well. So, I mean, it's strategically, in one respect, New Orleans is a perfect place to do a terrorist attack because the local leadership can't stop you. They can't stop anything.
Well, what do we know about the mosque that he belonged to? We know that he was born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, but he belonged to a mosque in Houston. And they put out a statement right away saying, don't talk to the FBI and don't talk to the media.
Oh, yeah. I don't know that much about this mosque. I've talked to a friend of mine who's at the Center for Security Policy. He tells me it's a bad mosque, that it's part of the Islamic Society of North America, which is like basically a Hamas front organization, which, explains why they wanted all communiques directed through CARE, because CARE is also a Hamas front. So, that connection is there. It's kind of, the mosque is like in basically a trailer park where everybody's a Muslim, apparently. And this guy's place, he had goats and chickens hanging around. And the timeline is strange because not long ago, and I didn't see anything where he was separated from the job. Not long ago, this guy had a job with Deloitte making like $120K a year.
Oh, wow.
So what's he doing in a trailer? I mean, $120K a year in Houston? Like, Houston is one of the most affordable places to live in America. They've got so much, available housing there that, or at least they did until the place filled up with illegals, that, you don't have to live in a trailer in Houston if you make $120K a year. So it's weird.
Unless it's nefarious.
And they're saying that he scoped out the area 2 times prior, but they're also looking into his visits to Egypt and to Canada.
Mm.
Well, apparently Canada is a place where all kinds of bad things happen now. So that makes sense. The interesting thing is, Like, this guy is, I mean, our immediate reaction, like all of us, was, you see, this is what happens when your border is open. But apparently this guy's family, I mean, like, these people are Americans.
Right.
And his father, I think his father's original name was like Masterson Young. And he changed his name to, you know, Akeem Abdul-Jabbar or something. Like, I guess he's, you know, he's pretty close to a Lakers fan or something. But, and converted to Islam. And I don't know, this guy was raised in a you know, jihadist household or something, and then decided to get straight, you know. But like when he was in the Army, he got reported up the chain of command because he said jihadist things. And I don't know if it went into remission or what, but all of a sudden a year ago, now he's radicalized again and he wants to join ISIS.
Yeah. Hey, Scott, before I get to my question, it's a very good text on the 312 text line from a 253 area code. Can you imagine the media if it was a Nazi flag? Every single picture would have had that flag flowing, but they folded up and covered up the flag.
Oh, so that nobody would see it.
So nobody could see it. That's a very, 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 very good point. But where did the initial reports come from that the truck was seen in Mexico or it came across the border? Where did those reports come from?
I don't know. I mean, that was everywhere, and then it was nowhere.
Nowhere.
So I don't know if that was some kind of, you know, bad reporting that went up the chain, but I didn't really actually see an official FBI release on that or anything. So, you know, I don't know if that was Fox News got it wrong or, you know, somebody tipped them off and they ran with it. And then when they started vetting that information, that it was a dead end. I really don't know. You know, I mean, what's suspicious enough is this app that he rented the truck from, which is Turo is the same app that the guy the Cybertruck guy in Vegas did. This is my question. Who in their right mind would put a $65,000 Ford Lightning truck or an $80,000 Cybertruck on a rental app where you never meet the person renting your car?
Oh, there are more luxury cars. Wait, there are way more expensive luxury cars on this app.
On that app?
Oh yeah. You can rent some very luxury cars on this app.
High-end cars.
Who would do that? Like, I mean, all of the things that you can use a rental car for, or a car for that, you know, would make the owner of that car liable legally, you know, whether they use it in a robbery or, you know, like any of this kind of stuff. You would like your beater car you wouldn't put up for a rental sight unseen like that.
Yeah.
So back to this guy, though. He was divorced twice, served in the Army for 10 years. Do you think this is a fifth column action? Like he knew he was going to attack or commit a terrorist attack at some point in time, but joined the Army to figure out how it all works? I mean, I cannot wrap my head around this guy.
Well, I mean, the thing I can't wrap my head around is why does he go at 3:15?
Yeah.
Like I don't like it makes no sense to me. It's like at 1:30, 2 o'clock, everybody kind of starts petering out on Bourbon Street. Like, you know, like they've been at it since 6 in the evening.
Right, because you're from New Orleans, right?
Yeah, I grew up in New Orleans. I've been on Bourbon Street New Year's Eve. You can't even hardly move on Bourbon Street at 11:30, 12 o'clock on New Year's Eve. Okay. I don't want to give, you know, advice to terrorists, but if you're going to do maximum damage, that's when you go. And this guy was making Facebook videos that whole time. And then at 3:15 he goes when, you know, and you can see it on video. People see that truck coming and they dive out of the way.
Yeah.
Wait, Scott. It's so funny that Facebook will dox you and basically flag your post, but they didn't flag that right away. Come on, man.
I mean, this is one of the most videoed terrorist events ever.
Yeah.
You know, but like the thing but that being the case, and you knew it was going to be the most videoed terrorist attack ever, but like if this guy was anything even remotely close to a competent terrorist, he'd have gone at 11:45. Not 3:15. I mean, like that's so basic and obvious. He scopes the scene out, all this stuff. Like, if you scope the scene out, Bourbon Street is best around midnight for this, and yet he doesn't do it. What that suggests to me, with all these other elements of this plan, the Airbnb catching on fire at 5 in the morning, and all of the rest of this, like, this was a pretty well-crafted plan, and yet seems to me it was botched. Which tells me somebody else crafted the plan, and that's the guy we need to go get.
Did you see the video of the other angle? It was like the video was following his truck. I mean, who was that person? Who took that? Because there's an angle that shows it. I don't know if they're in a cafeteria or a cafe or something, but there's a video that's out there. I saw it on Twitter. It follows the truck, and then you see him make that very hard
you
right.
mean when he turns off a Canal Street?
Who's that
it was
person?
weird because it's like, why are you following this white truck?
Yeah.
Like, who cares about a white truck until it turns on Bourbon?
That's interesting.
Yeah, that is kind of suspicious, and I'd love to hear an explanation for that because that video is everywhere.
Yeah, it is.
All right, Scott McKay, we're going to have to leave it there for today. Publisher of Hayride and senior editor at the American Spectator. Scott, always a privilege to have you on, and thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, guys. Happy New Year.
Yep, and he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
As we near the end of the year, many families in Latin America and the Caribbean are struggling just to get by. Inflation, food shortages, and natural disasters have left parents unable to feed their children or access water.
When the kids go to bed and we just stay in the night talking about how it's very hard to see my kids go to bed with hunger and not having something to give to them.
For over 40 years, Food for the Poor has stood alongside families like these. Gifts of $500 from AM 560 listeners have already provided food for 10 children for an entire year. Now we're asking for your help with the next 4. Your one-time gift of $200 provides life-saving food for 4 children for a year and helps the community get water closer to home. Make your best gift today. Click the red Give Life banner at 560theanswer.com or call 844-862-4673. And we thank you in advance for your generosity.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484. 800-839-8484.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, we'll speak with a man who was there and spent 3 years in prison for being at the Capitol on January 6th. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
ComEd restores power to a South Shore condo building amid the sweeping cold and snow. Bears beat the Packers in the regular season finale. CPS students returning to the classroom today as the CTU contract negotiations continue, and a deadly fire in northwest Indiana is under investigation. The Bulls say they'll retire Derrick Rose's jersey. And WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Snow and ice from the Midwest to the Mid-Atlantic. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. It's affecting 60 million people.
A lot of Americans trying to restart work and school today. Well, here in Philadelphia, we get an extra day of winter break. Schools are closed.
And they're closed in many areas, from Kansas to Virginia, with about 300,000 power outages. And Fox Weather's Britta Merwin also reports Washington's getting it bad, too.
In D.C., a snow emergency has been called. Could be the biggest snowstorm they've seen in D.C. in years.
And there are almost 1,500 flights canceled nationwide. And despite the storm in Washington, Congress will gather in a special session to certify the Trump election victory 4 years after the Capitol riot when Trump supporters tried to block the Biden election win. The president-elect has called what happened a day of love. Despite about 1,600 people facing criminal charges, he has suggested he might pardon some. Democratic Senator Adam Schiff tells NBC's Meet the Press if Trump does that,
he will begin his new administration the way he ended his last administration, and that is by celebrating violence against our democracy.
President Biden has just issued a new ban on more offshore oil and gas drilling off the entire East Coast and parts of the Pacific and the Gulf of Mexico to preserve 625 million acres of ocean. Incoming Trump White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt tells Fox this is the work of Biden environmental extremists
who don't care about what's in the best interest of the American people who just reelected President Trump with a resounding mandate to drill, baby, drill.
Today, President Biden goes to New Orleans to meet with victims' families from the New Year's Day terror attack, saying at a gathering in Washington greeting new members of Congress.
My message is going to be personal to them if I get to get them alone. They just have to hang on to each other.
14 people were killed in that attack. The Biden administration is being sued this morning by Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel, trying to rekindle their $15 billion merger that the president blocked last week, not allowing the Japanese company to buy the American steelmaker. America's listening to Fox News.
8:02, snow and freezing rain draping the area. Delays at O'Hare and Midway because of that this morning, and slowdowns on the roadways at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Two are in custody after shots rang out, fired at Chicago police on the south side Sunday night. Chicago police this morning tell us it happened around 7:30 in the 8200 block of South Coles. Police say the suspect fled the scene on foot. Later, two 17-year-old male suspects were taken in for questioning. ComEd crews were able to restore power to two South Shore condo buildings this morning. The outage in the area forced at least 183 customers into the dark and cold last night around 4 p.m. Happened in two buildings near 73rd and South Shore Drive. Bears snap a 10-game losing skid, beating the rival Packers 24-22 to end the NFL season at Lambeau with the win. Cairo Santos with the 51-yard game winner.
Once I saw myself making, I think, a 53 that way in warm-ups, I knew I had that and a few more to in a situation where the adrenaline was going to take over like it does on a game winning. So we just, once we got into a 51, I just worried about putting the ball through.
Santos drilled that field goal as time ran out to give the Bears their first win in Green Bay since 2018. Elsewhere in Chicago sports, Bulls use a dominant third quarter to beat the Knicks on Saturday and take on the Spurs later on tonight. College hoops from Sunday, the Fighting Illini, a Big Ten win over Washington, while Northwestern lost to Purdue. And again, our congratulations to Division III national champions in football, North Central College of Naperville, with a convincing win over Mount Union and the Purple Raiders in the Stag Bowl. 8:04. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat, a service of Signature Bank. Visit signaturebank.bank for all your commercial banking needs. And now, the latest from the Fox Business Network.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Nippon Steel and U.S. Steel are filing joint lawsuits against the U.S. government and competitor Cleveland-Cliffs. They're challenging the Biden administration's decision to block the deal. They want a new review process under the new administration. Reuters is reporting that rival Cleveland-Cliffs CEO Lourenco Goncalves also was pushing back against the deal. The Biden administration has said that did not play a part in its decision to kill the deal, which was made because of national security concerns. Foxconn, the company best known for assembling iPhones, is reporting a record quarter, not because of its phone business, but because of demand for artificial intelligence servers. It also assembles products for NVIDIA. Foxconn is also forecasting significant growth in sales this quarter. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Cosolda, invested in you.
8:05 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Charlie Kirk is saying crazy things across the country.
The head of the ACLU, Anthony Romero, is talking about how they're going to work with city and local governments to sever their relationships with the federal government. Anthony Romero is talking about widespread secession from the United States.
The Charlie Kirk Show. Afternoons at 1, right before Sebastian Gorka at 3 on AM 560. The Answer.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I am a senior citizen, and actually I've seen the commercials, and I started taking it because I thought, well, that sounds like a really good idea.
Well, I saw it. We watched Fox News, and I saw it on there, so I thought to order them. And I'm telling you, it's terrific stuff.
It makes me feel good. So me and my wife both enjoy it, you know.
Because I can't do it without my Balance of Nature.
We've maintained it without taking a lot of food supplements we had been taking. We stopped and are just using Balance of Nature supplements.
Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal. Sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com and get this exclusive New Year's offer by using discount code Chicago.
If pain is affecting your life, I have the perfect New Year's resolution for you. Make 2025 the year of feeling good again, the year of moving better, sleeping better, feeling more alive, and do it with Relief Factor. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Developed by doctors, it doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Over 1 million people have turned to Relief Factor. Feel the difference it can make in your life. Give their 3-week quick start a try. It's only $19.95, less than $1 a day, and it just takes a phone call. 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. You can start feeling better in 3 weeks or less, and every day you feel better is a day you live better. Wherever you're hurting, back, neck, joints, or muscles, make 2025 the year of feeling good again. Try Relief Factor's 3-week quick start today. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
It's 8:09. Let's get an update on the roads. We do that, of course, in our Team Hochberg Traffic Center. We start on the Kennedy where it's 80 minutes. An hour 20 O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Kennedy outbound, an accident has a left lane block outbound side between Division and Montrose. Delays on the Dan Ryan disabled vehicle with a left lane block. It's on the inbound side between 47th and the Stevenson Expressway. And big delays, Bartlett, West Bartlett Road, east and westbound between Devon and Western, completely shut down for the last couple of hours, all due to a bad accident there, and cleanup continues. Traffic is the service of the daily podcast of Chicago's Morning Answer and the Sean Thompson Show at 560theanswer.com/podcast. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast with Andy Robb.
Windy for today with snow at times. 1 to 2 inches accumulating. The high 29 for tonight. Mainly clear and cold. Low 15. Breezy and chilly with partial sun tomorrow. High 26. I'm Andy Robb on AM 560, The Answer.
Snow and freezing rain falling across the area freezing drizzle and 24 at O'Hare, freezing drizzle and 26 at Midway. That is leading to both gate delays and other problems. As you head to the airports, check ahead on your flight this morning. Winds out of the north at 17. Your next news update, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios, this is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, January 6, 2025. Where were you 4 years ago? January 6, 2021, John Anthony.
I was at home watching the inauguration.
No, January 6, 2021
I
was the day that they were trying to certify the election.
Yeah.
Making Joe Biden.
I didn't go. I was supposed to go to
No, you said you were at home watching the inauguration.
I mean, the certification. I'm sorry. I was at home watching.
Hello, have I lost you, Fred? By the way, that's
Right.
John Anthony filling in for Dan Proft today. John Anthony of Black and Right Radio here on AM 560s on Saturdays
4
from
to 7.
4 to 7.
Yeah, some great news coming. Can't
Yeah.
release it yet.
No. That's such a good tease. But anyway, back to J6 2021. You were going to go to D.C. and
I
you
was.
decided not to.
Yes, I did.
Why?
Well, I just felt something wasn't right. And I actually told our next guest that that's the reason why I wasn't going. Because he was trying to get me to come, too.
And that person that was trying to get you to come is Cash Kelly. He is a returning guest here on AM 560. From Hammond, Indiana, he pled guilty to his January 6th role and spent 3 years in jail for his alleged role in the J6 attacks. Good morning, Mr. Kelly. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fantastic. God woke me up.
Okay, sorry. All right, so walk
He
us.
said God woke him up.
Okay, so walk us through that day first. But before you even got there, when did you and how did you decide to go to D.C. on January 6, 2021?
I drove down. That was on the 5th. So spent a little bit of time in D.C., before January 6th actually happened. Now, the day of January 6th, I walked down there early in the morning. It was probably about 9 o'clock. And it was like a regular Trump rally. It was the energy was great. The people were good. It was just like a big family reunion, really, is what it felt like, because it was all the people that you may have seen at another rally, before January 6th. Every other rally was great.
And then from there, you listened to Trump speak, and then what? A majority of the group then marched down to the Capitol, or what happened?
Yeah. I went and we listened to his speech, and we left from there. A big crowd of people. We left from there before Trump ever said to go peacefully and patriotically make your voice heard. We walked towards the Capitol, and when we got there, again, it was great. Everything was fine. And then while I'm standing on the Capitol lawn, I guess there was no barricades up. There was no sign saying that nobody couldn't be there, and that the police came out on the top terrace of the West Terrace, the balcony. They came out in riot gear and they started shooting people with pepper balls. They started throwing flashbangs out of nowhere. It literally was like went from we're having a great time to the police just came out and didn't tell nobody to leave. They just started acting on the crowd. So once that started happening, we were looking at police officers do these things. I started yelling at them. I'm like, "Yo, we supported you guys all 2020. What are you doing?" And I said, "We got to get the women out of here." So we moved some of the ladies that was standing there in the crowd, told them to just get out of the way. And next thing I know, when I turned back from that, the police were standing back, like moving to the side from the top terrace on the stairs, and people start walking up towards the Capitol doors. The police were standing there letting people go in. So I walked in, and this is after they started an assault on people.
Now, do you believe an FBI informant let you in? Because they first said there was 26 there that day. Now we're learning that number might go as high as 200. Who let you in?
We've been screaming this. We've been screaming this from the start of it. People called us liars, said it was crazy. We were saying that while we were locked up, told our lawyers that we had defense, for a lot of us, saying no, there was literal we thought it was military and like FBI. It could have been both. We're still finding out all the things that really happened that day. But yeah, to answer your question, 100% there was FBI out in the crowd that day.
I was just called a liar. That's why I was texting you Saturday to come on the show, because this guy said I was a conspiracy theorist because I told him that you and I had talked, and you told me there were a lot of suspicious. And there's another name. Let's just say his initials is R.E., who they're saying wasn't part of that human asset, but a lot of people think. Do you believe he was part of that human asset? The guy whose initials are R.E.?
It's obvious when you look at it. I mean, how is it that you have a bunch of Americans locked up, some of which were just there saying, let's go this way? They're locked up. Yet you have a guy that was there literally the night before, standing amongst a whole bunch of people, telling them, instructing them on what they're going to do tomorrow, to the point where people were pointing at him, screaming in the crowd, chanting "Fed." It's almost obvious. They didn't bring no charges against him. They got literally everybody that you get, like grandmas. They got him locked up. And this guy, for some reason, doesn't get any charges brought against him until people start questioning his name, until he testified before the January Select Committee, which was horrible. It was a joke. And then they don't hit him with a charge to where he gets any kind of jail time. I think he got like a slap on the wrist with maybe probation and a misdemeanor charge.
Yeah, which is probably gone.
And he was on 60 Minutes, though, saying he had nothing to do with it. I'm not an FBI informant. I'm not in the know, but I don't even know who to believe anymore. All right, so let's go back to that day. So you're walking through the Capitol, and did you touch anything? Did you break into Nancy Pelosi's office? Did you put your feet up on her desk?
No, not at all. Not at all. I walked in. I seen a whole bunch of people that were there. I took a picture with a statue. I stood on the pedestal that the statue was also standing on, and I took a picture. And then
wave the flag.
I over, see police. Say it again.
Wave the flag too, right?
The American flag?
Oh, yeah, that was right when I first got up there. One of the people that probably was a Fed standing at the top of the Capitol Terrace on the west side, and gave me a flag and was like, "Get in there, soldier." Me and my blood's racing. I'm like, "All right, yeah, let's go." You know what I'm saying? So that guy was there. And when I went inside, though, it was just everyday Americans, man, that I could see, and the police. So when I took that picture, I look over, I see the police officers arguing with some people. I come over there, and I'm like, yo, like, these police officers wasn't the ones outside doing what they was doing, that was doing what they was doing to us. They're just in here doing the job. We not Antifa. We don't, that's not how we get down. And they were like, yeah, you're right. And took a couple pictures, and the police thanked me. And then I left. I turned around because, like I said, I see people getting a little crazy. You got a guy trying to take stuff off the wall. You got another guy swinging at the chandelier. It started looking like chaos. So that's when I said, okay, this ain't for me. It's time for me to turn around. By the time I turned around, they already barricaded the door that I had came through, that they was letting people walk through. There was a broken window. The police told me, I said, look, I just want to leave. The police said, well, you're going to have to go through the window. I said, okay. So I jumped through the window, told everybody else that was outside, like, yo, it's getting crazy in there. I don't think y'all want to go in there, SWAT inside there. They look like they're ready for the business. And I left.
And Cash, now there were two sides to this, right? Was it the east side that is that where it all started, and is that why they came out on you guys' side in riot gear?
So we had the Discovery sending DC DOC, man, all the guys, we shared Discovery with each other. So we watched all the videos. So the people that came in on the West Terrace, compared to the east side, they literally were letting people in. There wasn't no pushing them back that we seen. Nobody told them to go. They were giving people tours. You know what I'm saying? As you've seen in the video, you got Jacob Chansley being, walked around inside of there amongst other Americans. But on the west side, it was all out battle. Like from the start of it, they were just against the people is what it felt like. And so on one side, you're getting let in and told that it's, a tour basically. And then on the other side, you got people being beat. You're seeing women getting pushed with shields, old women getting pushed with shields, falling down the stairs, flashbangs thrown in the crowd. Guy got down like maybe 20 feet from me, shot through the mouth with a pepper ball. Another guy drops from a heart attack. It's just it was chaos on my side.
Yeah. Well, what about Ashley Babbitt? Were you there before she was fatally shot, or were you in the Capitol during that time?
I was there while she was there inside the Capitol. I wasn't by her, like, as far as our location. When I came out of the Capitol, I was close enough for my friend that was there also to tell me that he heard the shot, like he heard the pop of the pistol. So that's when we heard that somebody had gotten shot. We didn't know that it was fatal. We didn't know any of those things at the time. But yeah, I was there around the time when she got shot. I didn't see it, and I wasn't in the location, but I was there at the Capitol.
Now, Cash, you know they've called this an insurrection. How many people there did you see that were armed with weapons, guns, trying to get past a lot of these Capitol guards? And how many people there were armed?
Well, if I was to trust the January Select Committee and not my lying eyes, I would have thought that everybody was armed. But my own lying eyes, there was no pistols. There was no only pistol that was there that day was the ones that the police had.
Oh.
So you go home, or I take it you left. When did you realize that the feds were on to you and that you were being investigated?
I knew that was coming as soon as I made it back to the hotel and I seen news. I'm like, oh man, this is crazy, you know. But officially, it was the 10th. I would say the 10th of January.
Yeah, and where were you? Did you go back home to Indiana, or what happened?
Yeah. No, I went back home and I got a phone call, told me I had to go turn myself in.
Wow.
So you go, and did you bring a lawyer with you?
No.
Okay, so what transpired when you went in?
Well, I was on pretrial release already because I was fighting a previous case. I don't know if you know my past, but I used to be a part of a gang.
Mm-hmm.
And I had an indictment prior to January 6th. When I was 28 years old, I was fighting that case at the time. So when I went to go turn myself in, initially it was for a criminal complaint with D.C., but it also violated my pretrial conditions because I went to D.C. They said that I didn't have permission, which I did. I had permission from my lawyer. I called. Any time that I moved, I was traveling through the country, speaking on stages, you know, all through 2020. And they said I didn't ask for permission to go to this. And I said, yeah, I did. And I told my lawyer, I'm like, yo, you told them I was going. So, yeah, I did. But I guess he said what ended up being said was I did not tell him, and it was a miscommunication on his part, and I got in trouble for it just for being a January 6th. So when I went to go turn myself in, they did not let me go home. They put me in cuffs. I had to go sit before the magistrate. They put me in cuffs, and then I stayed there all the way up until February 2024. Not in that location, but incarcerated.
Gosh.
What were the conditions like?
Yeah.
What were the conditions like? And I mean, you know, there's still a lot of guys and girls still locked up there. What were those conditions like?
Oh, man, when we first got there, it was really bad. It was.
Were you
really
in?
bad.
I'm sorry. Were you in a jail or prison in D.C.?
I was in D.C. DOC with all the people that you hear about. All the guys that they told you was violent white supremacists. I was locked up with them, and none of them are violent white supremacists. A lot of good dudes, man.
Well, what was? I mean, 3 years. How did you pass the time?
Well, yeah, the only way that you could, you know, you pray, you read, you write some letters, and you make the best of it. You talk through the wall. I talked through the wall to a lot of brothers through the door.
Mm-hmm.
And we made the best of it, man. We just tried to find the blessings inside of all the chaos that we was in.
And Ashley Babbitt's mom, right?
Good job of it.
And
Ashley Babbitt's mom posted up outside for us, outside of DC DOC, and started the Freedom Corner. And they do it every night. They're going to be out there tonight, actually. And we built a relationship with them. So when we were able to use the phone after we got off solitary confinement, because we were on solitary confinement for about a year.
For a
year into us being there.
Oh my!
Yeah,
it sounds like you're a
bad.
political
They
enemy.
COVID restrictions.
Oh, because
exactly. That's how they treated people. And I'm the only black guy in DC DOC C2B. You know what I'm saying? So it was like at first the COs was cool with me. And they're like, yo, what were you doing there? And they tried to, like, I was an anomaly to them. And I broke it down to them. They weren't trying to hear none of it. But they turned on me, really, when I stood up for the people that I was locked up with, because they were under the assumption that they was all white supremacists. And I'm like, bro, you know where I'm from, bro? Oh, I wouldn't get along with white supremacists. They're obviously not white supremacists, you know. And I've asked them. I sat and I've talked with these people. A lot of them were followers of mine. I had a big following on social media in 2020 before they took it. And I say, it doesn't make sense, brother. The news is lying to you. You really believe that this guy that you got in this cell over here, that he cried when he seen that they put his name up as a white supremacist and him a part of a white supremacist organization, that he cried about it. And y'all sitting here thinking that this man really don't like black folks, man. Yeah. And over time of us being there, they eased up on the people, on all of us. But when we first got there, it was supposed to be 23-1s, but we spent more than that in the cell. So at any given time, we were in that cell for about 30 to 34 hours.
Hey,
before
Cash,
we got out.
have you heard anything about a pardon, commutation, anything from clemency? What that Trump's going to do? Has there been any word? Your lawyers reach out to you?
Nah, I haven't been reached out to by anybody, and no one has yet. We're just all waiting. Everybody's waiting to see what Trump's going to do, if it's going to be a pardon, which I'm hoping is a pardon and not just clemency, you know. But whatever he does, I'm cool with it, man. And whatever he doesn't do, I'm okay with it as well, because at the end of the day, we know we made it through. I just hope that he gets the brothers that are locked up out.
Yeah.
That's what I asked for.
How did you get out after 3 years? What happened?
Trump had the First Step Act put into place, so I was able to complete some programs because I had nonviolent offenses, and I was able to get out.
Would you do it all over again?
Yeah, 100%.
In hindsight, okay. And what about your family? Did they visit you at all? Were you able to have visitors?
No, they denied us visitation because we wouldn't take the COVID vaccination. So after about a year of me being there, I finally took the vaccination because I broke. I missed my family, and I just really wanted to see my kids. And they still didn't let me see my family. They told me, oh, well, your kids ain't 18. And I'm like, well, y'all, I made very clear how old my kids was, and I wanted to see them. And they told me, oh, yeah, well, you got to get the vaccination, and then you can get visitation. So when I got the vaccine and I asked them if my kids could come, they said no. They said, well, your kids aren't 18, which was another lie. They lied to us about a lot. They wouldn't let us shave. We couldn't get a haircut or shave until we got vaccinated, and none of us would get vaccinated. A lot of us towards the end, we started to, because we're like, man, I really miss my family. You know, you go so long without human interaction, you can't get a hug from your children or your loved ones, and it starts to do something to your mind. And then being in solitary conditions, it's a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they had an app. They had an app. Cash and I used to converse through app, and then they found out I was part. They called me media. They cut my access to the app.
Really?
Yeah, I could no longer contact them through the app.
I didn't know how bad it was. I mean, Cash, thank God you made it. Did anybody commit suicide?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, a couple people did before they had to go and do their sentence. Rest in peace to Matthew Perna. Mm-hmm. He's one of the main ones that I remember, because we got the article, came through the tablet, like that John was just talking about. And once we seen that, man, I read it out loud to the pod. Like, I sat there, everybody crowded around, and I read this article. And a lot of us, man, we broke into tears. I did. I shed some tears for the brother, because I felt his pain. Like, how scared do you have to be? How hyped up is this whole thing? And how terrified are you that it's going to happen to you? Because at this time, we have been getting reports out of what it was like in there and what they were doing to us, the threats from the officers about death, and them beating Ryan Sampson in the cell, and all the different things that happened. And he was so scared and so terrified of what could have been, man. It caused that brother to take his own life. And it was sad, man. It was just a real sad thing. So I know it broke his mother's heart. You know what I'm saying? And then it was a couple other people whose names I don't have, but that was the one that I remember. And then you had people, when you're locked up inside of there, that used to have them kind of talk. So, brother, I had to talk to the Ledge more than one time while we were inside of there, that was talking about, jumping off the second tier.
Wow.
Well, we're glad you made it through this ordeal, and we'll be keeping a close eye to see if President Trump will grant you clemency or pardon you and over 1,000 other people who are convicted in connection with the J6 2021 attacks at the U.S. Capitol. Mr. Kelly, thank you so much as always for joining us. Do you have a new X account?
Yeah, I do. It's my name, K-A-S-H, Cash, Lee, L-E-E, Kelly, K-E-L-L-Y, and the number 1. But before I get off here, I would like to ask everybody to please, man, if you could, if you're able to write letters to the brothers, they got the Patriot Mail Project. You could look up everybody who's still incarcerated, their address, where they're at. Please send them a letter because them letters meant a lot. We got letters from literally thousands upon thousands of people across this country and across the world. You know, I got a letter from Croatia and France and Canada and all types of stuff. And it meant the world to us to get them letters, man. So if you guys could, that's listening to this, please go to Patriot Mail Project and show some love to the brothers that are still locked up.
Let's work on getting that pardon in Indiana, too.
Yeah.
All right, Cash Kelly, thank you so much. Again, you can follow him on X at Cash Lee Kelly, the number 1. And Kelly, thank you so much for joining us. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560, The Answer.
You heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Attention American homeowners, you're under attack. Your home and equity could be vulnerable to cyber thieves. There's only one company that completely stops them, and that company is Equity Protect. Equity Protect prevents any attempts to steal your home, equity, and ownership 24/7. Get your free risk report today by texting the word HOME to 94878. That's right, text the word HOME to 94878 to get your free risk report. Keep your equity and legacy safe with Equity Protect.
AM 560, The Answer.
Okay, program note here from the renowned psychologist and author, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson at the Rosemont Theater on January 15th. Dr. Jordan's lecture tour will unite, inspire, and stabilize you culturally and psychologically. For a chance to win a pair of tickets, visit 560theanswer.com, keyword tour. That's 560theanswer.com, keyword tour. And good luck. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, it was a suicide attack, a suicide, not a terrorist attack. We'll begin there with private investigator Paul Hubel. But now let's head into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
8:33, 24 degrees. Freezing rain and snow falling on the area. A couple of breaking stories we're following. One, President-elect Donald Trump's lawyers have just asked a New York judge to halt Friday's hush money sentencing while he appeals that ruling. And news from Canada this morning, facing growing calls to step down, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau is expected to make officially an announcement about his political future this week, perhaps as soon as today. Congress is set to meet today to certify election results. The House and Senate expected to meet at 1 p.m. Senator Amy Klobuchar says the proceedings will be secure.
We have, as you know, a new police chief, increased morale, many hundreds of more officers, and we have a plan and a strategy in place.
President Biden will be in New Orleans today to meet with family members of the victims of the New Year's Bourbon Street terror attack. The FBI says the New Orleans truck attacker who killed 14 had previously scouted the French Quarter and recorded video with his Meta smart glasses. A shooting attack on a bus carrying Israelis in the occupied West Bank has killed at least 3, 7 others severely wounded. 2 are in custody after shots were fired at Chicago police. It happened in a South Chicago neighborhood Sunday night around 7:30 in the 8200 block of South Coles. And ComEd crews have been able to restore power to 2 South Shore condo buildings. The outage put at least 180 customers into the cold and dark, many without heat or electricity while temperatures dropped overnight. The outage happened around 4 p.m. Sunday at 2 buildings at 73rd and South Shore Drive. Bears snap an 11-game losing streak against their Green Bay rivals, topping the Packers 24-22 at Lambeau Field. Chicago finishes 5-12, and the work to find a new coach is underway this morning. FCS championship game, North Dakota State and Montana State tonight in Frisco, Texas. And North Central College, your football national champions in Division III, winning the 51st Stag Bowl over the Purple Raiders of Mount Union, 41-25. It's 8:36. We'll have a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher sees relief coming.
Everything that is good about our country, they despise. They are anti-God. They are anti-patriotism. They are anti-law and order. They're anti-family. And finally, we got some normalcy coming back to the country.
The Mike Gallagher Show, weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
There is a place in northern Illinois that people have come from all around the globe seeking treasure.
It's amazing. I didn't know what to expect, but when I got there, I was surrounded by all kinds of gold and silver.
An actual place where you're surrounded by treasure?
I've known that gold and silver were a good investment, but I really didn't want to buy it through the mail. At Fox Valley Coins, I basically walked in, picked out what I wanted, paid cash, and walked out with gold and silver.
Walk in with paper and walk out with actual gold and silver bars. For decades, Fox Valley Coins has traded paper dollars for actual gold and silver. They buy and sell. The treasure map is available at foxvalleycoins.com. They are on Route 59, 1 light north of I-88 in Naperville, Illinois. Again, for info and the map, seek foxvalleycoins.com.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm 71 years old, and one of the main reasons why I wanted to switch over and give it a try was that I would rather take something of natural ingredients.
I'm almost 70 years old. I still work 12 to 14 hours every day, between 55 and 60 hours a week. And there's people half my age have trouble doing what I do. Balanced Nature sounded like a good idea, and once I started taking it, I found out it was a great idea.
Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal. Sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com and get this exclusive New Year's offer by using discount code Chicago.
You heard me talk about Relief Factor and how so many people enjoy a better, more pain-free life because of it. If you're dealing with everyday pain, it makes sense you'd want to try it first. Well, Relief Factor makes that pretty pain-free too with their 3-week quick start kit for only $19.95, less than $1 a day. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that fights pain naturally. Relief Factor doesn't just mask pain temporarily, it helps reduce or eliminate pain. Visit relieffactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF, 800-4RELIEF for Relief Factor.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then, you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
8:39, let's get an update on the roads. The service of In Grace with Pastor Jim Scudder Jr. now heard Sunday morning at 7:30 right here on AM 560. The Answer. The Kennedy 76 O'Hare into the Burns Circle interchange. Kennedy outbound stop and go Chicago to Montrose, all due to an earlier accident. Dan Ryan stop and go due to an earlier stall that's been taken out of your way. Inbound between 43rd and the Stevenson. Jane Addams slows up eastbound Meacham to Route 53. Delays as you travel in Addison this morning. Lake and Central report of an accident And we're hearing O'Hare is pulling out of a ground stop, which started at about 7:45 this morning. All flights were grounded due to weather. Big time delays, about 109 cancellations, about 30 at Midway right now. And we'll track that ground delay, which could extend until around 10 a.m. We'll have an update for you at 9 on that. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next. AM 560 Weather Center forecast, a service of ExpressPros.com. Hire with Express Employment professionals with contract and full-time workers from Express Employment. Learn more at ExpressPros.com, ExpressPros.com. Snow 1 to 2 inches in the area. More widespread and a lot deeper as you head north into Lake County, where there is a winter weather advisory. In effect, a high of 29. Breezy, clear and cold, a low of 15 overnight. Freezing, drizzle, and 24 at O'Hare. Your next news update is at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Now, from the Signature Bank Studios. If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
A suicide, not a terrorist attack. Good morning, Amy Jacobson here. John Anthony in for Dan Proft.
Hey.
Hope you're doing well today, and Happy New Year. For all those going back to school and work today, a little challenging with the ice. We have ice that's sticking to the branches right here. What did you say?
Slacker.
It's slacker. What does that mean? But the Tesla cyber explosion, a suicide, not a terrorist attack. That's what one former Chicago police officer and investigative journalist and a private detective since 1991 wrote an article about in crimefilesnews.tv. And the author of the article is our good friend Paul Hubel. Paul, good morning and welcome back to the program.
Good morning, beautiful Amy. How are you?
I'm doing great with an introduction like that. Thank you very much.
Hey, what about me? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, John, you're not too bad looking yourself.
Not my type. But.
Yeah. So you wrote in your article that the media rushed to sensationalize this story involving our military and our veterans can lead to harmful narratives. Why do you think that this was a suicide and not a terrorist attack?
Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, you've got a young man, Weivelsberger, who's a sergeant, not just in the Army on active duty, but he was at the zenith of the Army, being a Green Beret, Special Forces man, who had served in combat, came back with a Bronze Star and a bunch of other awards because he was a brave soul trying to protect his own nation. Now, bad things happened. He suffered from post-traumatic stress syndrome. And the other thing is a lot of people, like I'm a veteran, I served in the Army, but I was in Germany during the Vietnam War. But I can remember very vividly of so many young men that were married, so many young men that had girlfriends that they thought they were going to marry, and their marriages and engagements fell apart. Because they're deployed out of the country. And, so this guy had a wife and a young daughter, and his marriage went to hell. He's suffering from post-traumatic stress syndrome, and based on what they discovered on his cell phone, what he wanted to do is call attention to the plight of veterans like himself. In fact, he wasn't quite yet considered a veteran because he was still active duty, but terrible things were happening in his life. And so what he did was he went to a location where it would get attention, in a vehicle that would get attention. And unfortunately, the young man killed himself. And I look at this as a heartbreak. I don't look at this as anything, and the media was in such a rush to connect this kid with what went on with the Islamic extremists in New Orleans, and I felt that was horrible. And what a stupid rush to judgment. Wait 5 minutes and get the facts, and that didn't happen.
Well, and then they're coming out too saying that, oh, he was a huge Trump supporter. He voted for Trump. Is this helpful during this time?
Well, he did vote for Trump, and he did support it, and he called the administration that we were living under feckless and ineffective, and I think anybody with common sense knows the last 4 years our government has been running like a ghost ship on the ocean with no direction, like the Lost Dutchman. And when you're in a combat situation where you're fighting for your life, fighting for the lives of your comrades, and you have politicians making ridiculous decisions every day, it's frustrating. And I can see him being frustrated by that, and it's obvious why he's a Trump supporter.
Well, and it's so strange. How did you, just if you can walk me through this, he died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but yet he was able to detonate the explosives in his car. Did he do both at the same time, or what? How did that transpire?
That is going to really be difficult to reconstruct, even for the experts. And I'm certainly not a bomb tech expert. I know a lot about explosives, but I don't qualify to really opine on that. But it could very well be that the shot that he fired through his head, which was with a large caliber handgun, that may have set something off in the car, or maybe he set some kind of a fuse. And I don't know how simultaneous the gunshot and the explosion were, but I imagine they were certainly within close time. But he could have had a time delay fuse, like a fireworks fuse that you light, and then it might take 30 seconds or a minute to blow up. So it was, and the fireworks in the back of his car and the gasoline, I really, it's hard to say what he could do, but being a special forces soldier, he would have had to know his way around improvised explosives.
Right.
Yeah, you see a lot of people making this guy out to be a hero. He's no hero in my book. He still hurt. I mean, there were people hurt.
Injured, nobody died, but I mean, it could have been
He's no hero in my
catastrophic.
opinion, though. I mean, you if you want to be able to get your message out, there are multiple ways to do it. I don't think I'm really excited about everybody making this guy out to be a hero. What are your thoughts?
This guy is a hero because of what he did for his country in the military. However, when the act of killing himself is not really heroism, but it was obvious his effort to make sure that people understood his plight and the plight of so many other soldiers, particularly when politicians are making bad decisions. And
run for office, then. Run for office. You want to see something change? Run for office.
Or commit suicide where you don't put other people in peril. I mean,
well, that's just it. I mean, and we don't really. I don't understand. I know other people were injured when this car blew up, and I don't know that he was aware that there were other people there. I mean, there's so many things that we don't know, but the fact of the matter is suicide is not a way out for anyone. It's certainly not a heroic way out, but this kid was apparently so troubled that there was, he's 37 years old. There's really, he had no other solution. And it's easy to say run for politics, and I've had so many friends run for office, and some people get lucky and some people don't, and most people don't get elected. For every person that gets elected, there's probably 100 more that failed along the way of their campaigns, but he did leave a message behind of what was going on in his life. And this guy, he doesn't have to be venerated as a hero for suicide, but he should be remembered for trying to call attention to the plight of him and so many other veterans. And I was just, I get my medical treatment from the West Los Angeles Veterans Administration, and they take good care of me, and they try, and they're always sending me messages. If you got trouble, call 811, and that kind of thing. But there's still every day, I think it's like 25 veterans wind up committing suicide. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that when they were called for service, they got themselves in so much violence and so much horrors of war, it's hard to deal with. I mean, I got lucky. I went to Germany. The only combat I saw was pillow fighting. I fought bravely. Those girls were tough. But I never won a pillow fight. But I was lucky.
Yeah.
And these other lads are not so lucky. And you look at 68,000 names on the Vietnam Wall. For every one of those people that are on the wall, there are 3 more that came back disfigured, came back with missing limbs, came back with their minds gone. Some of them came back blind, and we don't really think so much about these people, and they're dying off right now because Vietnam was, by young people, it's ancient history.
Yeah.
But it is an ancient history if you live through it.
Nope, it sure is not. To read more, go to crimefilesnews.tv. Paul Hubel, we're going to have to leave it there for today. Licensed private detective and former Chicago policeman. And Paul, as always, thank you so much for joining us. We'll have you back.
Take care.
Well, I love you, Amy, and you guys have better weather, I hope.
Yeah. We can only hope.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Paul. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Are you heading into the new year with that same old joint pain? Get moving again in 2025 with help from our very good friends at QC Kinetics. Everybody's doing it, including Joe Rogan, who recently mentioned his positive results from regenerative medicine on his podcast. Revitalize your joints with advanced orthobiologic treatments at QC Kinetics. No steroids, no drugs, no surgery, no downtime. This is the future of medicine using an array of natural solutions like PRP to attack the pain from arthritis. Want to learn more about how you can refresh your joints, get lasting relief with these amazing treatments? Call QC Kinetics. The consultation is free with Saturday appointments available. Deal with that joint pain now so you can make the most of the new year. Call 312-809-5955. That's 312-809-5955. Again, 312-809-5955.
Balance of Nature supplements, changing the world one life at a time.
I'm 71 years old, and one of the main reasons why I wanted to switch over and give it a try was that I would rather take something of natural ingredients.
I'm almost 70 years old. I still work 12 to 14 hours every day, between 55 and 60 hours a week. And there's people half my age have trouble doing what I do. Balanced Nature sounded like a good idea, and once I started taking it, I found out it was a great idea.
Happy New Year! Start the year right and get big savings on Balance of Nature supplements with our limited time New Year's deal. Sign up as a new preferred customer to get 35% off your first preferred set, plus a free fiber and spice supplement. Go to balanceofnature.com and get this exclusive New Year's offer by using discount code CHICAGO.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some great news. From now until January 15th, the health insurance exchanges are open again. And even if you've never qualified for a health insurance subsidy before, you most likely will now. The American Rescue Plan expanded subsidy eligibility to millions of Americans who have never qualified before, even to those with high income levels. And this year, you can purchase a PPO policy, which includes access to Northwestern Medical Group. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. C. Stephen Tucker from HealthInsuranceMentors.com is someone I know and trust.
He's a 30-year licensed broker
who's been educating our listeners for more than 10 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551. 630-674-1551.
Hello, Patriots. It's time to celebrate McHenry County. Join We the People of McHenry County on Monday, January 20th for an evening celebration of the inauguration of number 47, President Donald Trump. This is a great opportunity to have fun and celebrate with your McHenry County friends and neighbors. The special guest host will be Gene Ives, host of the radio show The Real Story on AM 560 and founder of Breakthrough Ideas. People will gather at Galati's Hideaway Restaurant in Cary, Illinois. Tickets will only be sold in advance for $30 per person. Dinner is included and a cash bar is available. Don't wait. Seating is limited. Tickets will sell out quickly. Celebrate, connect, and stand with We the People of McHenry County for a brighter future. McHenry County and the state of Illinois are worth fighting for. Galati's Hideaway Restaurant in Cary, Illinois. Doors open at 6 p.m. Tickets on sale now and only sold in advance at 2025win.net. That's 2025win.net. A large retail store just canceled a huge order, leaving MyPillow with a ton of extra MyPillows. But you know what? That's their loss and your gain. For the first time ever, you'll get a standard classic MyPillow for wholesale prices, only $14.88. But it gets even better. For a limited time, they're going to offer their entire classic collection at wholesale prices. Get queen-size MyPillows for just $18.88. Upgrade to king-size for only $1 more. Get the body pillows for $29.88 and multi-use MyPillows for only $9.88. So go to MyPillow.com and use promo code LIBERTY or call 800-489-0201 to take advantage of wholesale pricing for the first time ever and receive free shipping on orders over $75. That's right. Get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88. They have never been offered this low before. There are limited quantities at this price, so the limit is going to be 10, and once they're gone, they're gone. So go to MyPillow.com or call 800-489-0201 and use promo code LIBERTY to get the standard MyPillow for only $14.88, the lowest price ever.
This is Sean Thompson for Donnelly Auctions. Here's a fact. Extra cash is a really good thing right now. Here's another fact. There has never been a better market for antique items than right now. Donnelly Auctions wants everything you have when it comes to antique collections. Their worldwide audience is waiting to give you top dollar for them. Call them at 815-923-7000. If you have a weapon of any kind, any military items, they are in desperate need of military items and guns, as they are a state and federal licensed arms dealer. So you don't have to worry about any of the nonsense they can go with other auction sites. Give them a call, 815-923-7000, or go to DonnellyAuctions.com. If you have classic cars, old signs, coin-operated machines, the list is crazy long of the items they want to help you sell. If somebody has passed away and you have estate items, antiques, they are in desperate need. Just call 815-923-7000. They're waiting for your call now.
At Signature Bank, going the distance for business banking customers is what we do every day. We understand that business owners have a strategic mission, a drive to succeed, a plan for growth, and don't have time to wait for a bank to respond. With Signature Bank, you not only have a banking partner that has roots right here in Chicago, but our decisions are made locally too. Signature Bank knows that when you have a question or problem about your business, you want answers. You need someone who will pick up the phone or respond to your text. You need someone who is always there for you. That's Signature Bank. We are a team that wants to get to know you and your business. Want to be Signature Bank's next success story? Give us a call today at 773-467-5630 or visit us online at signaturebank.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
All right, look at the time. 2025 Certification Day. Woohoo! Thanks so much for making us part of your morning, part of your lives. Thanks to Quinn McCarthy and Justin Kosick. And Justin, I got a lot of text messages. Don't let your wife, Bethany, clean the kitty litter box. Okay? Got it?
Uh-oh.
All right, he's nodding. Thanks. All right, now into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
ComEd restoring power at a South Shore condo. WIND Chicago News.